discovery.
Hello and welcome to Cutting the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben, and as always I'm joined by Gaz.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hello.
And today we're talking about Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper, okie dokie.
Saucy Jack.
Saucy Jack, is that one of his official nicknames?
Yeah, Saucy Jack.
Oh dear. Sorry, listener.
It's all gone Pete Tong.
No, it's okay. I'm just showing our levels of professionalism here. As we don't have anything to actually hold up the camera. We're just leaning it against things.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be able to see the logo, but I can't get the angle right. So you're just gonna have to fucking
Deal with it.
yeah.
Suck it up, buttercup.
So should we explain what we usually do around these parts?
Yeah, we'll start with some weird news. It's some random stuff found on the net this week. And then we'll get to the main the phone fell over. And then we'll get to the main cut and thrust of today's topic.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
Yes, some weird news from around the world. So what's in the news this week? Producer Mike.
What we got? This is related to your real life event, Cass.
Oh no.
Blow up sex doll found abandoned on Sheffield roadside.
Can we please clarify for the listener, the reason that relates to me is not because I've fucked any blow up dolls,
And chuck them away.
and thrown them away. I innocently found a bag of discarded dildos at the side of the road recently.
As you do.
As you do.
I'm always caught up on a bag of dicks.
Well, it was a first for me. Blow-up dolls are for life, not just for Valentine's Day.
Litter pickers in Sheffield often discover unusual items, but this one surely takes the
They
biscuit.
weren't playing the biscuit game as well, were they?
Maybe they inflated the doll. Afterwards, who can say? The blow-up sex doll was found looking somewhat deflated on a patch of grass at the corner of Holland Road and Asline Street in Lowfield, closer to the Umix Centre football pitches. That's in Sheffield.
Oh, that's a useless one if you could see the picture, listener.
Have they photoshopped the face onto that?
It's a blow-up doll, but when I picture in my head a blow-up doll,
I'm
they
thinking
are
of-
mouth agape.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
That's the entire point of one.
Yeah, somewhat in shock and awe.
Yeah, like, wow. Or they're, a backing singer who goes, ooh, a lot.
I went for the shock and awe.
But this one, clearly mouth closed, so maybe it's a cut price.
That face looks photoshopped.
I think it's attached to the doll. But I mean, I've seen worse.
Looks quite lifelike. The face.
Not the rest of it.
It looks like a discarded inner tube with a head.
What else have we got? Scroll down. Let's
Anyway,
see. Is it meant to look like somebody in specific?
Can I just say, if this is a news story,
Yeah.
then is me finding a bag of dildos at the side of the road
Yeah.
a news story? Well, I need to send that off, don't I?
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the
my
Sun
story.
there. Well, the Daily Star will definitely have it.
Yeah. The sport.
Sport. Oh, front page on the sport. Easy.
Headline news.
I love this
Breaking
is so
news.
British. Can you see the blue fish and chip forks in the background? Somebody went there, had a bag of fish and chips, fucked a blow-up doll, popped it with their Super King cigarette and left it
And
there.
then ate a meal off it, what looks like.
Chips.
Johnny Tyson, who is a member of the recently formed Mearsbrook litter picking group, stumbled across the bizarre object while passing on his way to work on Monday. The 49-year-old cabinet maker who lives in Mearsbrook shared this photo on the Sheffield Litter Pickers Facebook page, along with the message, "Behold, the weird things that Sheffield folk casually discard on the roadside." It's a bit shamey, isn't it?
I bet this made his day.
I reckon it was him and he's just covered himself.
It made my day when I found the dildo.
That's what I reckon it was him. He dumped it there, and this is his way of distancing himself.
That's how he covers.
Covering his own tracks, you see.
Because he needed to get rid. He couldn't put it in his bin at home in case the missus looked in
That's
there.
it.
I mean, how bad's his missus if he's fucking blow up dolls? I'm not going to pass judgment. She could have been in an accident.
Who knows? The father of one said he understandably didn't stop to investigate more closely, so doesn't know or not whether the doll had been used. Well, that's not something I want
What's
to
he mean
find out.
inspect? Well, what? Why is he regretting that? What was he going to do? Like find the
No,
point?
he said understandably he didn't stop.
Oh, well that's alright then, because you're not going to find the point of entry and taste it for salt, are you?
Stick your finger in it.
Oh. Caucasian male.
Ah, the old 70s cocaine trick.
Mid-20s. Slight urinary infection.
The cum whisperer.
Oh, you've met my ex. That's a joke.
Oh, he said, at first I only saw the face and thought someone was lying on the grass, but then I realised what it was. It made me laugh, but I decided not to pick it up or investigate any further. Very true, Mr. Whatever your name is.
Liar.
Leave it to the professionals.
You liar.
I bet he's got it at home now, hasn't he?
I bet after he took that picture, he fucking... Yeah. Well, I don't know, I'm just casting aspersions on the guy, but I mean, he's a little picker, he's got to be a bit... You know.
What? Community support? So
You
community
know the
centres?
type. See, they're so active in the community. They've got to put up this big front of like, oh, I'm such a helper, mate.
Oh, I'm respectable, but secretly he's got a sex dungeon.
Secretly, he fucking probably put his cock in that blow-up doll's ear.
Who can say?
Maybe. I don't know. He makes cabinets. Come on.
Yeah. But for more...
Cabinet maker. Where's the bodies?
Well, if you do want to join a litter picking group in Sheffield, then you can find them on Facebook.
Oh. I wouldn't go to Sheffield.
No.
Not.
Shithole.
Not after
It
watching,
is, yeah.
not after watching Threads, I wouldn't.
No.
Although I think it was a Sheffield United player who at the weekend scored a penalty and then pulled Mr. Socko rather wonderfully from his. Have you seen it?
I
haven't
seen
seen
the
this.
headline.
It was
Yeah,
he literally pulled a Mr. Socko with the face on from his crotch, put it on his hand, turned round, his mate turned up and he did the mandible claw.
Oh well.
And Mick Foley's seen it and retweeted it and all that, and yeah, everyone's happy.
Oh, there's a Royal Rumble tonight. That's where we're.
It is, yeah. Ooh. Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
What's Mr. Socko?
Oh, do you remember Mankind, Mick Foley, Cactus Jack?
No.
Well, basically he used to have his finishing move, or one of his finishing moves was he would produce a sock from the front of his trousers.
It's been there all the time.
Been there
he's
all
been
match.
wrestling.
And he's not a small guy, he's a chubby bloke.
Yeah, he's a sweaty man.
He's a sweaty man.
Not good.
And puts it on his hand and it's got a little face.
Mr.
And it's Mr. Socko. And he will then shove that into your mouth, like these fingers
lovely.
into your mouth, and sort of squeeze your jaw.
Yeah.
And that's meant to make you tap out,
Well,
gagging on the sweaty sock and your jaw being crushed.
The way the mandible claw works in kayfabe terms, in like wrestling term, is he's pressing a nerve in your mouth under your tongue that is like paralysing and will cause instant unbearable pain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim Ross explained it once.
Not that you've
on
got
the
a sweaty
commentary.
sock in your mouth.
Well, that just adds to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just insult to injury, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. But
Mr.
you always have Mr. Socko. To be fair to Mick Foley, how he's actually still alive, walking and talking is beyond me. He took a lot of injuries.
Yeah, he should be dead.
He should be
I
dead.
don't mean that in a bad way. I don't
No.
want him to be. Saint Mick, he's ace. But he's lost a lot of weight, so he's probably going to live a bit longer than he was going
Yeah.
to.
I mean, he literally took a dive off the top of the steel cage through a table.
Yeah, he was ace. So, blow up doll, is it news?
Well, apparently so. It's in a paper.
Do you know what? We're making up all these crude stories in our head. The likeliest thing is it was a stag do, wasn't it, or something along those lines.
Yeah. Or a hen pie.
Yeah, one of them, and someone's just right.
On a football pitch, footballers.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Practical joke.
Yeah.
Or somebody was out there in the middle of the pitch, in the middle of the night, literally going fucking raggo on a blow up doll. But hey ho.
Yeah.
Next news story.
Never say we don't bring you the finest of the news stories.
Well, it makes a change from Brexit, 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 Brexity, Brexit, Brexit, which is all the fucking news has been for about 6 months here. Brexit, 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 Prince Philip crashed his car.
Listen out for our Brexit episode.
Brexit, Brexit, Brexit. Yeah, but we cover it in, first of all, we don't do it in BBC accents.
I can start if you like.
That's what the camera thinks of your BBC accent. It literally just committed suicide.
I only just started.
Oh, and we lost a viewer.
Then you got cutting with these fucking clones.
Look, you're here for comedy and entertainment and conspiracy. You're not here for professionalism. If you are, fucking brace yourself. Ben's drinking gin.
I'm not drinking gin, I've got Southern Comfort. The gin is the show mascot because it's Jack the Ripper this week and the Victorians loved a bit of gin.
Oh, I bet their gin was better quality than that fucking co-op gin.
I don't know, I think the co-op gin at least conforms to modern day health and safety standards, unlike the Victorian gin, which was putting fucking all sorts floating in it, to be fair.
Oh Jesus, my camera work. You carry on, boys, ignore
To
me.
be honest, I'd rather drink dog's piss.
Well, just like this woman from Essex Live, and she says that her dog's urine helped cure her acne.
What?
Yeah, and she also claims that it can cure cancer.
Oh dear God.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
please. If I was you, darling, I'd stick to the cancer drugs. Don't drink the dog piss.
I don't think she's got cancer, I just think that she's claiming it can help.
Oh God. Oh no, she's...
Some people will try any type of cream or lotion to clear their skin, but would you go as far as drinking a dog's urine? The majority of us would say no. But that is exactly what blogger Lynn Lou from America has been doing. She claims that drinking dog urine has helped to clear her acne and given her a glow. Yes, a warm glow of dog piss, love.
Man.
That is manky.
In a video posted online, Lynn explained her theory and how it has worked for her. She said, "Many of you have asked me how I always look so good, and my makeup always looks so perfect, or how I always have this natural glow and stink of dog piss." I'm adding that bit.
Imagine kissing her after.
Oh! She then collects a cup full of urine from her dog and drinks it. So I don't know if the dog is pissing on command or not. If it's a male dog, she's only going to take it to a tree and it'll probably have a go. But after finishing the unique drink, she continued, "Until I first drank my dog's pee, I was depressed, I was sad, and I had bad acne." As reported by Cambridge Alive, she then offered some questionable facts about dog urine and its properties. Dog pee also has vitamin E in it, and has 10 grams of calcium, and it's also proven to help cure cancer. No, it isn't. While urotherapy used to be practiced in ancient China, Rome, Greece and Egypt, it's not a practice which health experts today endorse.
How does she know? Has she got chemistry equipment at home where she's tested this dog's urine and seen scientifically how much calcium's in it, or is she just reading this off like blogs and things online? And
Probably blogs online.
because it's a very bold claim to make, isn't it? And is any two doesn't it depend on the breed? I mean, surely a Chihuahua's piss is different than a fucking bulldog's
Depends
piss.
on the diet, doesn't
Or
it?
one of them what's them giant dogs? I
Great
can't-
Dane.
Yeah, even bigger than that. Irish wolfhound.
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
I mean, their piss is going to be different than a Chihuahua piss, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe she's a connoisseur of piss. Maybe you have Chihuahua piss for your face skin and bulldog piss for your underarm skin. I don't know.
I
Since he goes
decided...
around in the parks, just sort of like with cups underneath dogs,
Can we-
just tasting. Schnauzer.
Can we scroll down just ever so slightly? I hate to be all judgy, but I mean, she doesn't. She looks okay. I mean, she's got clear skin,
Yeah.
so maybe. I'm just playing devil's advocate. She says it gives her clear skin. She's drinking dog piss, and she's got clear skin.
Yeah, but she could be anything because she grew up a
It
bit.
could be the dog piss.
She could have just grown up
Yeah.
a bit and stopped being so acne-ridden.
Isn't
You've
that-
got a dog.
Acne's
Yeah.
caused by hormones, isn't it?
Yeah. And greasy
You're the
skin.
science officer.
and greasy skin.
I used to have bad acne as a teenager, but it just cleared up. It just cleared up on its own as I got older.
The dog looks ashamed. Look at that dog. Looks ashamed.
Yeah, you won't look at the camera.
You won't look at the
But
camera.
Ben, you have a dog. You
Yeah.
can try. Well, you don't have bad skin, but
No.
maybe there's other health benefits you could.
But what I was thinking of doing was
Yeah.
actually pissing in a cup and sending it to her, telling her that my dog has the best piss in Britain,
Right.
and then make her drink my piss for a laugh.
Why's your dog got the best piss?
I'm just going
in
to claim it has.
Oh, that's very you. Yeah, well, we can't prove it wrong, can we?
Well, Mr. Zaki Aloha, who is a consultant urinologist at BMI Primary Hospital in Birmingham, told Marie Claire, it's a bizarre concept. The kidneys filter the blood and any excess fluids and salts and minerals are expelled. So she's not actually getting anything really, because the kidneys are taking anything good.
That's it. Urine is waste, isn't it? It's what the body doesn't need.
The point of urination is to rid the body of excess. Why would you want to reabsorb that, he asks. The only time it's medically recommended to ingest urine is if you're stranded without food or water for many days. That's always nice to know.
Or if you like that sort of thing.
Or if you like that sort of thing.
If you're Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
Or a president of the United States. Allegedly.
He loves piss.
I love piss.
Well, I think she's got mental health issues that go far beyond my counselling capabilities, so I wouldn't be able to help her. I personally think anybody who sees the dog pissing and thinks,
I bet that.
If I drink that, it might clear up my skin. She's either misguided, misinformed, mentally unwell, or
attention seeking,
possibly.
Just nasty.
Bit of a skanky hoe.
Yeah.
One might argue.
Well, and putting it on the fucking national news, that's not going to help you in the dating department, is it?
No.
Fucking hell. Your mouth tastes like the bottom of a lamppost. Yeah. So, yeah. What's next?
Yay! Woman, 27, makes living cleaning clumps of dried semen known as beans from horse penises.
Wow. That's a job, isn't it?
Yeah.
This has all been very bodily fluid related this week.
It has. It's just the way it works out sometimes. You know, sometimes there's a lot of weird sex articles about floating around on the net.
Yes. You just happen to find them.
It's research, Gaz.
No, it's called algorithms on your phone, Ben.
Because I was researching it. Now I've just got loads of piss stories.
No one can claim to accidentally find anything on the internet anymore. It's all tooled to your using.
Well, I follow certain pages that have stories like this on from around the country.
Look, you'd have to justify your internet search into me and the live audience.
I swear.
So anyway, back to this story. Why do you have to...
Actually, this is one of mine because I didn't find this.
But why do you need to harvest beans of dried horse?
Are you going for a transplant?
I don't want one, I just like them.
I think you're skipping over the severity of this headline.
Yeah, she cleans clumps of dried semen from horse penises.
The sheath queen.
Beans of dried horse spunk from horse penises.
Well, horses are going to be clean too.
What's the... What? Working in a Walmart or an Asda isn't that bad, is it? Doesn't she ever think while she's scraping the giant phallus free of its dried spunk beans, I could just be moving a pallet in a warehouse?
Yeah. Depends how much she gets paid for it, though, mate.
Well, actually, yeah, depending on that, I'd clean the fucking cock.
She's known as the Sheath Queen. And her name is Mercedes Hoblin from Essex. She's in her third year in the care industry when she decided to make a dramatic career change.
Oh, God.
The 27-year-old mom from Boreham in Essex extracts beans or build-ups of smegma from the tip of horses' penises for 25 quid a horse.
That's not enough.
It's not, is it?
I don't know. 8 horses, 200 quid a day.
Yeah, oh yeah, 8 horses, it's nothing, is it? Imagine it, think about it, having to actually hold the giant fucking cock that's half the length of your body and use some sort of special tool, I imagine, to gently scrape. I mean...
Does she have to go in?
Well, if it's smegma, I imagine it's built up... I don't want to...
On the outside, I think.
Yeah.
Either way, it's not going to be pleasant. I would expect a lot more than £25 per animal. I expect £25 per minute per spunk bead. Does it tell us what these things are used for?
No, they're not used for anything. It's to do with hygiene for the horse, effectively.
Fuck, I thought they were harvesting them for some weird reason, like, you know, like whale vomit is in perfume. I was thinking maybe dried horse spunk is in... Maybe that's what's on your Frosties.
Well, my friend said that it's a niche in the market and that I should do it full time, so I started a Facebook page and it's now a full-time job.
Are those the beads?
Yeah.
There's a picture to show size. They're bigger than a 50p piece.
That's a lot of cum.
I don't come that much in a month. Why is it brown and hairy?
It's been there for a while, hasn't it? She said, I started doing it on my own horses, and other horse owners came at my yard, asked me to do it on theirs, and it just stemmed from there. Now I can just pop them out.
Oh.
So they are coming out then. I'll pop them in from behind the helmet or whatever. I don't know. I'm confused. I did some research about vets finding these beans, but it wasn't until I did it myself that I couldn't believe the size of
beans.
them. They can be gigantic. She said most of my friends thought it was a bit of a joke at first, and they were a bit grossed out by it, but now they cannot believe how my business has taken off.
Well, I won't go round to her house for beans on toast.
Apparently it can be dangerous for the horse if left untreated.
Oh, well.
Someone's going to do it.
Well, they haven't got to, have they?
Well, they have. The horse might.
Once we get
Die.
infections.
Oh, it's nature.
They just leave
What,
your
what
horse
do they
to
do
die.
out in the wild then? Fucking rub it against a tree or something?
I don't know, maybe they're swimming through rivers, they get washed off.
I don't know. What if there's no rivers? I think she's playing with fire. It's going to go wrong one day. She's going to get trampled.
Or jizzed on.
Or
Oh.
any more news stories?
Yeah. Should we give a brief outro for the live listeners?
Oh, no, we'll just say goodbye.
Right, so, well, thanks for listening to our weird news at the start of the show. This episode will be out in a couple of weeks. Hope you listen. Thank you very much. I'll have a wave.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Right, so let us cut on with the main thrust of today. We're going to be a true crime. Jack the Ripper. First recognised modern serial killer.
Yeah.
Stalking the streets of London in Whitechapel, 1888.
Well, I wouldn't recognise him because I don't know who it was.
Well, no one does, mate.
Oh.
There's 100 suspects, and my bedroom has now been turned
Fucking hell.
into a spider web of red string and photos.
We're not going through all 100, are we?
No. I'll pick them out, the sort of top 8, maybe.
Oh, that's okay then.
But I'll tell you a bit about Whitechapel because it's the perfect breeding ground for something like this at the time.
Excuse me.
Is that on the Monopoly board?
Yes.
The second worst one, isn't
I
it?
think it is. I think it's on the brown ones. So Whitechapel in 1888 is in the East End of London. It's made up of the East End is made up of Whitechapel itself, Wapping, Aldgate, Bethnal Green, Mile End, Limehouse, Bow, Bromley by Bow, Poplar, Shadwell, and Stepney. That is the East End, and its population was 900,000.
Shadwell?
Shadwell.
Oh, this is Shadwell.
But yes, I do.
You got really excited there.
250,000 of those 900,000 lived in Whitechapel. It is like a fucking square mile.
Mm.
It's not a big place. 15,000 of them were classed as homeless. Disease, hunger, neglect, violence, and alcoholism. Is prevalent. And 1 in 4 children are dead before the age of 5.
I don't know why that made me. I'm not laughing at that. It's just that's wonderfully bleak.
But what you have to consider at this point, the sun's not setting on the British Empire. Britannia rules the waves. It's the wealthiest city in the world.
Not if you live in Whitechapel.
Not if you live in Whitechapel. You ain't seen none of that.
It's a bit like today, isn't it?
Yeah. Going back to it, yeah. I mean, a Jewish actor turned up looking for work in London, and Whitechapel had a massive immigrant population of predominantly Jews and Polish people. A lot of anti-Semitism in Whitechapel.
Right.
He basically couldn't believe it. He's like, I'm in the richest city in the world, and this is just Moscow's better than this.
Mm.
New York's better than this.
Yeah. And London was the first big city. There was nothing like it on the planet.
Mm.
Because of course, the population had pretty much stayed, the world population stayed at a certain level, steady level all the way through. Industrial revolution comes, population spikes. Of course, it spikes in Britain because that's where the industrial revolution began.
Mm.
So you have this mega city, London.
Yeah.
Mega City 1.
Yeah.
Britsit.
Yeah, I guess.
I think it's been overtaken now by Mexico City.
Oh yeah, but it's still considered one of the largest cities in the
yeah,
world.
still 20 million, isn't there?
Yeah, it's a lot of people in one place. I've actually been to the top of the Shard, tallest building in London, and it literally does go out as far as the eye can see.
Well,
You can't see the end of it from the centre.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the start of it either. I fucking hate London.
Really?
I'm not a big fan.
No
Oh,
offence
I like
if there's any listeners who live there. You know, I don't mind a quick visit. Well, there's no such thing as a quick visit, is there? There's no easy fucking way in or out unless you're on a train, I guess.
It's just always too busy.
It's too much for me. I don't like it.
Nah.
It's too big, too busy.
I lived in Liverpool, that was bad enough.
Yeah.
I
I like visiting cities, but I
Yeah.
also like leaving them.
Yeah, I wouldn't live there, but for a visit, I mean, I was there a couple of months ago when we went to Camden Town.
Yeah, I also
Nice.
got ripped off on the street 3 times in the same evening trying to buy drugs on the street.
What would you expect?
I was young and naive. Looking back on it now, I'm laughing at my own foolishness and naivety. But yes, I was very lucky not to get my fucking head kicked in, actually.
Or arrested.
I was taken down. One of them even went so far as there's people out there looking for fucking schlubs like me. He even went as far, you know, he gave us a wrap and showed it us before we took the goods, you know, like a wrap of white powder, like, yeah, because we'd already been ripped off 2 times previously.
What was it?
When I got it back, it was paracetamol.
What was it?
And I snorted it anyway, in defiance. My friends were, Stas, don't do that, mate. What? I was like, I'm fucking doing it. I wanted a line tonight.
How did you know it was paracetamol?
From the taste kind of thing.
That's
Right.
all tasting paracetamol. I hate it when you get one of them stuck in your throat. Can't get rid of the taste.
I'm pretty good at swallowing. Tablets.
Didn't say a word.
Back to Jack the Ripper.
So, employment in Whitechapel at the time was intermittent at best. Men might find work in the docks, but this was a bit hit and miss. Basically, you rocked up at the gate
Yeah.
first thing in the morning to wait for the foreman who would give out employment tickets.
Okay.
But there's only so many tickets, and there's a lot of men.
Right.
And basically, the guy who got those tickets is the one that punched, kicked and bit his way to the front of the queue to get it off. It was a mass brawl. Other than that, you've got sweatshops, you've got
My kids would
abattoirs,
starve.
and you've got slaughterhouses and fisheries.
Or the workhouse.
The
Oh.
workhouse.
Or, if you're a lady,
If you're a lady, you can make ends meet another way.
you can...
Or a man.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I bet there's more ladies,
Probably.
because there's more filthy men who want to pay for it.
Reminds
they
me of
really-
that Blackadder sketch.
Yeah.
Scene where he goes down.
There's good money made down the docks.
They weren't in good shape though, were they, these ladies of the night?
No, they weren't.
They had like dysentery of the mouth.
Missing
I
teeth.
don't know if that's a thing.
Body odour wasn't great. I mean, the thing is,
People
Whitechapel
didn't
was...
shave back then, did
it
they?
was-
That wasn't a...
Probably not.
thing,
The
was it?
Victorian times, everyone was kind of very hairy, weren't they?
Sorry.
I got
Whitechapel's...
pus-filled boils and everybody.
Oh, yeah, and alcoholism is rife. Hence the gin bottle on the table. Gin is like a fucking penny a pint at this rate.
Well, you'd need gin, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To stick it in a
It's
pus-filled
probably
pussy.
bow-legged.
I hope you're not mocking the victims, Mike.
You're saying it was horrible.
You
was.
probably had to pour gin on it first before you stuck it as a precautionary measure.
Sterilise it.
Yeah.
Poor gin on it, it just sort of sizzles.
I'd imagine you're probably pouring gin on yourself as well, in all
Yeah,
fairness.
afterwards
Fucking hell.
especially.
Ain't going in there.
Before and after.
I don't like it in.
Of course I am. Call me daddy. Oh dear.
I mean, they're doing it outside as well, remember? They're not inside doing this, selling themselves. There was brothels in Whitechapel, but some Christian do-gooder went round and closed a lot of them, managed to get a lot of them shut down, which
fucking-
actually put the women onto the streets
Yeah,
in a
go
more
under a
dangerous
canal bridge.
in a more dangerous environment. And I mean, they were doing it in the courtyards, in back alleys, people's back gardens.
What's that called when it's outside?
Costs more to do in the back alley.
What's that word that begins
Dogging.
with A? No, when something's outside. Like when you have,
Agoraphobic.
when you have a meal outside. When
Al
you-
fresco.
Al fresco, that's it. Yeah, they were just into a bit of... Never mind them kinky French and them Europeans.
Just
it was
dogging at the time.
It was the Victorian Whitechapel hookers invented the alfresco.
Well,
Alfresco fun times.
Apparently,
Fun times and bum times.
about
Sorry.
1,200 prostitutes working in Whitechapel.
And what was the population again?
250,000.
That's not that many prostitutes.
It is in a square mile.
It's quite a lot. 12,000?
1,200.
Oh, 1,200.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
up as estimated. There's
Still
probably
a lot.
That's on the streets. There were still brothels as well.
Hidden away.
Yeah.
Unofficial hookers.
Hook
Yeah, I
every
don't know.
20 yards, isn't it?
1,200 doesn't sound that
Well,
much
they
to
just
me.
be hanging around the bars and, you know, in the pubs, getting pissed, and then they realised they wouldn't have enough money for a lodging house.
Drinking
And
piss.
drinking gin, getting pissed.
Oh, sorry. I was confusing the news story from earlier and the actual report.
Not
from
for
this
that,
week.
neither, drinking all that piss.
No.
That costs extra again as well.
Seem very knowledgeable, Mike.
I bet you could pay a whore to drink her piss though, if you wanted to.
Probably.
If you're that way inclined.
Would she drink your dog's piss though?
Probably
Probably not.
cleaner than the whore's piss. The hooker's piss. Sorry, she's not a whore. She was somebody's daughter.
I think we'll, there were sex workers.
Oh yeah, that's the politically correct
Yeah.
term, isn't it?
Or ladies of the night.
Yeah. Hoes.
So Whitechapel's mazes of roads, alleyways and courtyards were lit by a single gas lamp each. So this isn't, you're thinking it's all being done by gaslight. Now this place is it's very poorly lit.
Okay.
You know, there's like one light on the street, it's foggy, it's smoky. Remember, all that industry's belching its smog out into the streets. That's why London was called the Big Smoke, wasn't it?
Oh. The big
And
smoke.
to make matters worse, you had sheep and cattle were herded to the streets regularly, leaving excrement, and residents would also throw their own raw sewage into the streets.
Wow, sounds so.
Yeah.
You know, people are like, oh, we should go back to the good old days where people had values. Yeah, and you needed wellies because of the shit in the streets.
Yeah. And some poor people used to search through that looking for stuff.
Oh,
Any bits of coins or
man.
Yeah.
bits of rope, linen.
Oh man, what
Bones.
was it, their diet?
Rag and bone.
What the fuck were people eating if they're
Well,
shitting out rope
there
and
might be
coins?
kids' nappies or something, you know, and
All the animals would probably like eat stuff and crap it out.
I'd just let myself die.
they just took their shit, took their waste out. So like, you know, chicken bones, things, people would collect that and sell it on.
Yeah.
Well, I could
Make
understand
glue
that.
and stuff.
It's just the searching through the shit that I find.
Well, yeah, but they had no
I find
choice,
that
did
to be
they?
over hopeful, to be honest. Well, I mean, what goodies are you going to find? But peanut shells? Nobody had peanuts back then.
No, probably not.
Um,
Didn't
No,
go
but
that
it
far
wouldn't
down the
just be
rabbit
their
hole.
shit, but their waste they took away as well.
Did they have sweet corns back then? Because you might
I
find
don't think the people in Whitechapel are eating much fresh fruit and veg, to be fair.
Oh man, imagine it. Gin shits. Just liquid, spicy.
So you've got all that shit in the streets and the smog and it's dark and everyone's drunk and violent.
And toothless
Right.
hookers
And
going,
then
give us a go at it, mate!
And then you've got the overcrowding.
Yeah.
You have 2 or 3 families in a single room. And they
Shitting
would,
on each other.
and then they would in turn, if things were really bad, sublet a corner of that room, put a screen up, and someone would sublet the corner of the room to sleep in.
Fuck, man.
So it's even more
Better
overcrowded.
than sleeping in the shitty street, though, isn't it? From the point of view of the one behind the screen, but from the family's point of view, that's not good, is it? Imagine the silhouette of him wanking away, and you got to explain, little child, what's the man doing behind the screen?
Well, I think they probably know what he's doing because they've probably seen mum and dad going at it.
Oh God.
There's no privacy when you've got fucking 30 people in a room, is there?
Look at the fucking wall, son!
Everyone look at the wall!
What did I fucking tell you? Look at the fucking wall!
Now, if you
Whoa.
were homeless, there were lodging houses you could go to. You can get a bed, which is more like a coffin, basically. That was 4p a night.
Lovely.
Oh,
Sleep in a slightly larger coffin.
Again, better than the shitty streets, though.
And it's
Literally
it's
shitty.
got a roof over it. For tuppence, you can get a rope hammock.
Mm-hmm.
And for 1 penny, you can get a 1 penny sit-up and that is just a bench against a wall, and you all sit there, and you either lean back against the wall or lean on the person next to you, and you sleep there for
I've
a
seen
night.
pictures of those.
Hell.
That's what I'm saying, isn't it?
That was shit.
Yeah. And that's just basically just to get out the cold.
Bloody hell.
Again, I would just let myself die. I'm not gonna lie. We fucking shit this, isn't it? I just drown myself in the shit river that's flowing past my ankles.
And of course,
Wow, that is desperate. Wow. That's fucking grimdark, isn't it?
Yeah.
all these people have been driven there. The government passing the Enclosure Act, taking the land off people to force them into towns because they need the labour.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
Yup.
It's always them, innit? Them
That's
at the
it.
top.
And it's
The
alright
big
if you're a
ones.
bloke, you can go into the factories with women, you know,
Women and kids did.
they did, but if you're struggling to make ends meet, you're going to sell yourself on the side, and they literally do it for like 3p. Or a stale loaf of bread, and a large majority of them were alcoholics anyway, because everything was so shit, you might as well get drunk. And the prevalence of cheap gin.
Imagine that though, if you buy 2 loaves of bread from the bakery, he's like, what? Someone's getting their cock sacked today, aren't they? No, I require 2 loaves of bread. You think I was fucking born yesterday?
The bread's probably 50% sawdust.
Well,
Oh, yeah. Ain't going to be quality bread, is it?
I saw a news story today that said there's some counterfeit cigarettes in circulation in Britain that contain human faeces, among other things.
Lovely.
Yeah, so don't buy any cheap fags. Not that we do anyway, but yeah.
No.
Just letting you know.
Nah, I smoke tobacco.
Yeah, so ladies to say that Whitechapel offered a breeding ground for crime and questionable behaviour. The police have been around sort of 20, 30 years at this point as well. There wasn't a lot of them in Whitechapel. They were quite undermanned because being sent to Whitechapel was considered a bit of a punishment if you'd fucked up somewhere else.
Of course, it was. Think of all the shit you're going to get in your shoes.
Yeah? And the
I hate
fact
being on the beat around here.
that, quite interesting at the time, the police, they were kind of universally despised, isn't there? But even more so, they were seen as being snitches back then.
Oh.
And they were nicknamed Blue Lobsters because of the colour of their uniforms.
How the fuck did the Victorian person know what a lobster was?
I don't know, but redcoats, the army, were always referred to as lobsters.
Maybe
the
we
red
have,
coat.
I'm ignorant as fuck if we have lobsters off the coast of Britain. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I imagine
I
so.
don't thought so. Yeah.
So,
Don't know for certain.
blue lobsters, because what? Why?
Oh, soldiers in blue, effectively. So saying, you know,
Right, you're your government's tool.
yeah.
You're just a blue one.
Although the police weren't armed at this point, remember, they had a truncheon and a flashlight and a whistle. And the handcuffs and all that, obviously, but yeah.
A flashlight?
Yeah, well, a gaslight.
You're just blowing your whistle while someone's stabbing you.
They actually, it was interesting, they had the collars of their uniform, high collars, they were leather to stop them being garroted from behind.
Oh, that's probably quite useful.
And they had top hats made of beaver skin, which is like basically offer the same protection as them sort of crappy Cody little police helmets they used to have years ago. But they got top hat instead.
Beaver.
Beaver skin. Yeah.
Well, you know, I bet some of them were a bit tasty though. You know, a bit handy with the stick.
Oh, I'd have thought so. I think you'd have to be, wouldn't you?
I bet half of them are bent.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. Where did that come from?
I assume you mean corrupt.
Oh.
I would have thought so.
Yeah.
That's how you could get away with it back then, though, couldn't you?
I've told you before, being a crooked copper is literally one of my life dreams. I would love to be a crooked copper. Takes it right to the top. You know, it'll all end and I know what you're going to say, this is how all my fantasies end, but
In a shootout.
eventually I'll get too high, I'll be flying too close to the sun, being too much of a gangster and failing at my police duties, and yeah, it'll end up in a shootout, but
Fuck, it'd be fun, though, wouldn't it?
yeah, there'll be a speedboat involved, I'll tell you that. Yeah, we're not fucking about. I'm taking over the biggest coke gangs in the country.
You just have been off your fucking ass all the time.
Woo. Another 24-hour shift. Sleeps for the week. Wow, he's energetic. Give that man a promotion. It's my dream.
Yeah. It's a good dream.
Yeah, come on, tell me you don't want to be one of those coppers who doesn't have to wear a uniform.
Oh, from the 70s especially, so I've got a moustache, I've got a perm.
That's good, but I like the modern one, and I actually saw one in real life in Birmingham, and I was like, oh, I want your job. You're wearing street clothes, but you've got your stab vest on over the top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One of them top-end detectives who doesn't have to wear
Play by
the
the
uniform.
rules.
Yeah, but they're still a bit... They've got the tactical gear, but they're still a bit, you know, they've got a nice beamer that they throw around corners, you know.
I'd put a nice long sort of overcoat as well, so they look a bit swish when they're doing it.
Okay, yeah, you know, but you are going to take over gangs by force and lean on people. Yeah.
You'd have a shotgun in your trench coat, wouldn't you?
Ooh.
Oh, I know, I'd always go for the classic pistol person if I was a...
If it was in America and guns were in the equation, then fucking hell, I'd be tooled up like the Punisher, mate.
You're watching that?
I've seen the first 2 of season
that
2.
bar fight's fucking awesome,
Oh,
the
it's
first
so
one.
good.
Spoiler
Yeah,
alert.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just whenever you
impression.
think he's down, he's right back up again.
He's Frank.
Yeah. And the guy who plays him is fucking... He is the Punisher for me, John Bethnal.
Yeah, he's awesome. Right.
Sorry. So back to the prostitutes, sex workers.
Yes. Of Whitechapel.
Because of their hard drinking lifestyle, many of these women looked in their 40s despite being in their 20s. They were often bloated, diseased, malnourished, and were missing or rotten teeth, and they were referred to as unfortunates.
That was just their advertising card.
Unfortunately, I seem to be fucking you again. But, oh well.
Think of your, whatever you want, bloated,
Bloated, toothless, malnutritioned hooker.
disease-ridden hookers.
How unfortunate.
Very well. God, I love Whitechapel.
You'd be surprised, a lot of rich people did you just come over to slum it in
bet they
Whitechapel? Come from the west to the east?
Yeah,
The west side of
dirty
London,
perverts.
the West End was uber posh, you know. Yeah, there was gaslighting and down the streets, everything was nicely lit, it was all paid, it was... but these unfortunates owned only what they wore half the time. What carried in their pockets, their deeds would pay for a room for the night, food or cheap Victorian gin.
Well,
However, a lack of contraception meant that unorthodox abortions performed in dirty facilities, including back streets, and this fed into the circle of disease, and many women would die from the infection from ill-performed surgeries.
oh Lord.
Didn't the barbers used to do it?
Your barbers are taking their head off as well.
Let's not go into too much detail, I'm too squeamish, but wow.
Well, they used to do bloodletting.
Oh, lovely.
Used to think that would help cure ailments. Because you're letting the
Well-
bad blood drain from you.
Well, fuck, I'm glad we've moved on.
Yes. So into this absolute shit cauldron
Yes.
strode a man whom history will come to know as Jack the Ripper. There was 11 separate murders of prostitutes, stretching from the 3rd of April 1888 to the 13th of April 1891, and were called the Whitechapel murders, but only 5 can be directly linked to Jack the Ripper. They're known as the canonical 5. The first one was beaten up by 3 guys who tried to take her earnings and died later on.
Okay.
You know, and different things like that. So these 5 are definitely Jack the Ripper, or certainly some guy using the same modus operandi. Most experts will point to the deep throat slashes, abdominal and genital mutilation, progressively worse facial mutilations, and removal of internal organs as distinctive features of the Ripper's modus operandi.
Oh dear.
Yes.
It's not very nice, is it?
No.
Sounds like Wolverine.
Well, no.
Victims of Wolverine.
Victims of Wolverine, maybe.
That's what I mean. It sounds like they were had by Wolverine.
Yeah, so we'll go through the canonical 5. First victim of Jack the Ripper was Mary Ann Nichols, aged 43. Last seen about 2300 on the 30th of August, walking the Whitechapel Road. At 12:30 the following morning, she left a pub in Spitalfields, and an hour later was thrown out the lodging house on Thrall Street for not having 4p she needed for a bed.
She just sucked the owner off.
Well, implying by her last recorded word that she would get the money for the bed with the help of her new bonnet which she'd acquired. So she's going out on the street, thinking she looks particularly spiffy in her new bonnet. Last seen standing on the corner, having told her friend that she had earned 3 times the amount she needed for a bed, but had spent it on drink. A carman found her body in front of a gated stable entrance in Bucks Row at 3:40 a.m. Police were summoned. They didn't know whether she was drunk or not at first. Remember, it's pitch black. They just like, is she drunk? Is she dead? Then
You'd bring a light, wouldn't you?
Well, the guy turned up with a light and they found that her throat had been slit twice from left to right, stomach mutilated with one deep jagged wound, several incisions across the abdomen, 3 or 4 similar cuts on the right hand side.
Now, was this common at the time, a lot of murders, or was this like big news? It's like, oh my god, someone's been murdered, or is this like, fuck me, another murder?
Whitechapel had a high crime rate. Apparently murders weren't that common, it was mainly just sort of a lot of physical violence.
I suppose they used to chuck the body in the river, didn't they?
Well, yeah, that's another point. They just toss it in the river and no one ever know.
We live by the river.
But this sort of thing, what's your average crime? It's going to be a beating,
Mugging.
or a mugging, maybe a single stabbing. We're not going to town on the body. I mean, he tried to take her head off. There was evidence he tried to cut through the spinal column.
Well, that's what I was trying to ascertain.
So this kind of thing, no. You're not seeing this on your average day to day. Then we go to the 8th of September. Annie Chapman, who was 48, found herself without money and went out to earn some on the street.
Bloody hell, if these are the 20s look like their 40s, 48, what does she look like?
Yeah.
The fucking the library ghost from Ghostbusters. I'd let it suck me off. I'm just saying.
For Hackney.
Excuse me.
Anne Chapman was last seen by a witness, Mrs. Elizabeth Long. She had seen Chapman talking to a man with a shabby, genteel appearance. So he looked a bit like a gentleman, but not as smart.
Like me?
No.
What?
Well, you're wearing a deer stalker hat and a dark overcoat. I'll call you shabby genteel.
Well, I'm a gentleman, but I've got long hair, so you know.
Speaking about deerstalker, where was Sherlock Holmes this time? Why wasn't he on the case?
Maybe it was Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Maybe this is how he let off steam when he was fucking...
Dr. Watson. That's what I think it was.
Yeah, and Sherlock knows
I never
it.
trusted him.
Didn't you?
Well, you see,
Do you think he was framing Holmes by going getting the classic deer stalker?
I think he was doing the murders
Yeah.
in conjunction with Holmes,
Right.
and Holmes was purposely putting people off the trail.
Right. I have to ask you the question. I'm pretty confident you know that you're taking the piss, but just for the listeners, and I know someone else who fell for that trick as well, you do know Sherlock Holmes is made up, don't you?
Is he?
No, genuinely, people think he's real.
Really?
Yeah. Well, there's a Sherlock Holmes museum, for fuck's sake.
yeah, and there's
Genuinely, the fact from fiction on Holmes is blurred. Some people do think he existed.
And if you go to Baker
Some people think the ear's
Street,
flat, though.
you go to Baker Street, is that where you live?
Yeah, it's got a sign up at
There's
the
a
door.
blue plaque.
Yeah.
Must be true.
Just saying. Didn't he fall off a waterfall?
He did, fighting Moriarty.
Yeah, so fuck him, he's dead.
No, he came back.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Who does he think he is? Fucking Superman?
Oh, I imagine he thinks he's right. Who knows who he thought he was after he fell in that waterfall.
Shit.
She was found, Annie Chapman was found just before 6 a.m. Her head had been turned aside and closed sort of around the waist. Throat deeply slashed. Her head was barely attached by the end. Her abdomen was severely mutilated and intestines were thrown over each of her shoulders.
Oh, fuck.
Also,
Do your guts and low, do they wobble to and fro? Fucking hell.
Like some horrific...
Thrown over her shoulders.
presumably,
Like braces.
well, to get them out he did that to get them out the way for what he did next.
Oh no.
Where he roughly removed her uterus, her womb,
Oh, man.
and did it so badly he took away some of the stomach lining and her belly button with it.
What did he do with that when he got it home?
Well, no one knows. That's the thing, but it was missing.
Do it yourself, hysterectomy.
What with the throat slash?
I hope the throat slash was first in all.
Yes, he was. The throat slash in all cases was considered to be the first wound.
Good, because he couldn't do his work with them thrashing around and,
Well, and screaming.
you know. Get the fuck off me! You fucking cunt!
Just here to take your womb.
I'm trying to talk like I've
Don't
got
mind me.
How do you talk if you got absolutely no teeth? With a fucking knife down you can. With a fucking knife down you can.
Something like that. Yeah. Stop removing my womb.
I fucking knew that you can. That's my contribution. That's why I'm here.
Oh, that's the best part of the show so far. What's that?
If anyone's got a granddad with no teeth, or a grandma, right, ask her to take her falsies out so she's got no teeth, and then just say, "Put that fucking knife down, you can," and see how it really sounds. Right, thank you, listener.
It was mentioned by Dr. Phillips that she'd been murdered to obtain the uterus on the basis that an American doctor had been going around a few London medical schools asking about buying some uteruses they had.
What the fuck?
Yeah, genuinely. This American doctor had been going around offering £20 for a uterus because they obviously keep organs and things like that in the medical school.
It was a thing at the time,
Work
wasn't
and
it?
hair, isn't it?
Yeah, body snatching because of medical reasons. People wanted bodies to work on, didn't they? And
Yeah.
you know, where'd you get bodies from? It's not the easiest thing. Well, if everyone's dropping fucking dead left, right, and centre, then it's fairly easy because in these shit old times, people were dying left, right, and centre. But this is a bit different. He's harvesting.
He's taking trophies.
Yeah, or he's just having his wicked way, practicing.
Practicing
Who
what?
knows?
Perhaps he's trying to build his ideal woman from bits.
Yeah, that weird science.
A Frankensex worker.
Yeah, ooh. Oh man, there's a fucking horror film in that somewhere, isn't there?
There it is.
Jack the Ripper's Monster. Where we find out who Jack is and what he's been building all this time.
Yeah.
And then it gets free. And then Jack kind of becomes the hero when he saves the people from the fucking monster.
He was going around killing people the way he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Writes itself.
Oh, fucking
Copyright us, listener.
Yeah, copyright us.
Don't steal our story.
Franken Ripper.
Oh! Fuck, there you go.
Boom.
Yeah, we can make a low budget horror
I
movie.
think we can.
Do a comic.
Let's start a Patreon. Buy us a camera.
Yeah, as we do it on our phones.
And a
Won't work.
Frankenstein mask. And a Jack the Ripper hat, if there is such a thing.
Traditionally, the top hat, isn't it? They want to.
And a cape.
You know the people who really get into this call themselves ripperologists.
Oh no!
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
They're worse than ufology.
Oh, ufologist sounds better than ripperologist.
Yeah, it definitely does. Ripperologist, what do? Do big juicy farts? Oh, what a ripper!
I've been to the museum. It is effectively the ripperologist's wet dream. Especially the gift shop.
What can you buy from there? A nice T-shirt.
A T-shirt saying I'm a amateur ripperologist.
Jack
and
the
stuff like
Ripper took my uterus.
that. No, nothing like that.
Buy a uterus if you want.
20 quid.
Oh dear.
Actually, I was talking to the woman behind the counter there, one of the people who ran it, and she said that one little interesting tip there about these murders is that a lot of the government files on them are still classified. They've not been released.
Because it was
It's a deeper conspiracy, maybe.
Prince, somebody. It was a member of the royal family.
No, I used to believe that, but all that research I've been doing is you got to rule him out, I'm afraid.
Oh. Oh well.
We have a bit of a break now. It takes a while. We come to the 30th of September, the last murder. The murder of Whitechapel was on the 8th. So 22 days, there's been no incident.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get what's known as the double event. It's a 2 in 1 night.
He was waiting till payday. 28
Gets up a
days.
new knife.
Yeah. New knife and a sharpening.
Yeah.
So he did 2 in 1 night. He's getting confident.
Well, he tried to stop and realised he couldn't. But the thing with the 2 night, with the double event, is that Elizabeth Stride, who was nicknamed Long Liz because she was 5'7", so therefore taller than most women in Whitechapel, who were probably all 5'3",
Okay.
was found 1 a.m. on Sunday, the 30th of September, and her throat had been slashed deeply from left to right. There was no mutilation, nothing was taken. It's thought that he was probably been disturbed.
Yeah.
He was about to go to town, and somewhat this guy came along.
But if it wasn't because there's no witnesses, no one's come forward, I bet it was like in a movie, a cat A cat knocked a dustbin over.
Oh, maybe. I don't think they've got dustbins.
Yeah, all right.
They just throw the shit in the street at this point.
Oh yeah, they did. Okay, a cat sneezes in the shit, and it makes a noise.
Oh, this bloke walks around the corner.
Oh, do you know who it was that walked around?
Yeah, it's a guy called Louis
Oh, for fuck's
Schultz.
sake. Well,
Yeah.
I'm wrong then. It wasn't a cat and a dustbin.
So then it was.
What did he see then?
Well, he just found the body. But as it's night time and there's not a lot of noise, he's
Oh, he
cobbled
heard him
streets.
squelching.
But he heard
from
him
a
squelching
distance.
and thought, oh fuck.
Yeah, and ran off. Okay.
Yeah,
So he found a new victim.
he did. Catherine Edo was age 46. This time he wasn't disturbed at all and the body was found in Mitre Square. So it was only an hour later.
Quick
So he hadn't
worker.
finished what he wanted to do with the first one.
Yeah. On to the second, he didn't get the parts he needed.
No. Well,
Either for his
No.
trophy cabinet or for his monster or for order from somebody else.
or for his memory.
Well, yeah, trophy, that's, I mean, you know, I
'Cause,
remember that one I did in whatever square.
Well, her head, she was found with her head turned to the left-hand shoulder like all of them. Her throat was deeply cut again from left to right. The intestines were drawn up over the white shoulder. Detail, it was smeared with fecal matter. A piece of about 2 feet had been cut away and put between the body and the left arm. The lobe and auricle of the right ear had been cut. And her disemboweling was a lot more jagged and erratic. She also...
Panicked because he'd been disturbed once.
Yeah.
He's frantic now.
That's what I mean.
Her face had been mutilated, a triangular flap peeled from the skin of each cheek, the tips pointing towards the eyes. Cuts were also made,
Illuminati!
cuts,
Pyramid in the eyes!
Fucking hell.
cuts were made vertically
Illuminati
over her
killer.
eyelids.
A lizard man did
Yeah.
this
He did.
with his sharp claws.
His barb penis.
Well, yeah, that would disembowel you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about.
Maybe not with surgical precision.
Oh, this was a really jagged cut, just straight up.
Oh, this one could have been a lizard.
I've seen the
puppet.
autopsy photos.
Oh,
Crime scene photography was the first. This is the first time crime scene photography was properly used
why would you want to see that?
because it just came out of the research.
Ew, I don't want to look at that. I'm glad you didn't send me that.
It was on the pages.
I'm way too squeamish.
Oh, they'd all been stitched up and everything.
Oh, put back together.
Yeah, but you could see where the line was for the cut. It was like literally from.
Well, that was
stern
nice
to-
of them to
yeah.
put them back. I thought they would just chucked them in a box or something, scraped them up and chucked them in a box.
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Her kidney had been removed and taken, and also her uterus had been cut away and removed. Again, the doctors thought the killer had some kind of medical knowledge. A kidney was then sent to George Lusk, who was head of the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee.
Oh.
Wasn't very vigilant, was he?
No, they were the
No.
neighbourhood watch at the time. They formed.
But we can't see fuck all because there's no street lights, so what use are we?
Yeah.
We just stood there in the dark going,
Somebody there?
is anybody out there doing anything they shouldn't be? Good.
Do you want to put the PC on a second, Mike?
Oh, we got a video.
We got a letter.
Oh,
The letter sent to this George Lusk. That's the one.
do. Here we go.
So, scroll down for me, please. I'll read you what the letter said. This is where he names himself.
Jack the Ripper.
Yeah. This is and the address is from hell.
Oh, that's why the film's called
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
Hell.
It's written.
I still
In,
haven't watched it, forgot to watch
Me
it.
either. Every day's a school day though.
it's written in red ink.
Oh, wow. It's pretty metal.
Yeah. It says, "Dear boss, I keep on hearing the police have caught me, but they won't fix me just yet. I have laughed when they look so clever and talk about being on the right track. That joke about leather apron gave me real fits. I'll explain that the nickname for Jack the Ripper before Jack the Ripper was Leather Apron. Thing is, in Whitechapel, there's a lot of abattoirs, slaughterhouses, a lot of men walking around with bloody leather aprons on in the middle of the night and carrying knives.
Maybe he was perfect disguise,
That's it.
hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
Wolf in sheep clothing.
He says, he carries on, I am down on whores and I won't quit ripping them till I do get buckled. Grand work the last job was. I gave the lady no time to squeal. How can they catch me now? I love my work and want to start again. You will soon hear of me with my funny little games. I'd say some of the proper red stuff in a ginger beer bottle over the last job to write with, but it went thick like glue and I can't use it. Red ink is fit enough, I hope. Ha ha. The next job I do, I shall clip the lady's ears off and send to the police officers just for jolly, wouldn't you? Keep this letter back till I do a bit more work, then give it out straight. My knife's so nice and sharp, I want to get to work right away if I get a chance. Good luck. Yours truly, Jack the Ripper. Don't mind me giving the trade name. Wasn't good enough to post this before I got all the red ink off my hands. Curse it, no luck yet. They say I'm a doctor now. Ha ha. Clearly the work of someone who's a bit demented.
You don't say.
Wow. Jack the Ripper, it's a cool fucking nickname though, isn't it?
It's pretty badass.
Yeah, everything was Jack at that time.
Jack the Lad.
Spring-heeled Jack.
Spring-heeled
Jack Tar was the nickname for sailors. Yeah. He's usually an average bloke.
Everybody that was a bit dodgy
Jack shit.
was Jack, yeah.
Can we call a quick piss break? I need to top my glass up.
Okay, don't murder a hooker on the way to the toilet.
That's 20 minute Mike's in his flat. How many hookers do you have in your flat, Mike?
None now, I've already cut them.
Well,
That's what he was doing when he was out there.
Oh,
but
yeah,
he said
he
he was cleaning up cat sick, but really.
yeah, I just gave it a last poker body,
Yeah.
sex worker body.
Ah well, everyone needs a hobby.
I suppose so. Right, so yeah, that's the double event and the letter that was sent to George Lusk, who was head of the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee. The police as well had received several letters, but these were hoaxes. And it's mainly because you had the start of the tabloid press around this time, and they whipped up quite a stir. Because at the end of the day, yes, these women are being killed horrifically, but there's a lot of people getting killed every day,
Right.
in these environments, these slums throughout London. Maybe not as gruesomely, and this is why gruesome murder like nowadays whips up a frenzy, doesn't it? They were called the Penny Dreadfuls. These they're nicknamed.
It's a
The
shit.
early tabloid press.
Because that's how much they cost.
People were starting to read more. The literacy was increasing, so people were starting to read stuff. Oh, a penny. Go on. These things get left places. They make their way around town. You got tabloid press starting up.
Literacy and herpes.
And syphilis.
And syphilis, yeah. And murder.
The tip of the nose being cut off, I always find quite interesting with it, because syphilis, that's what syphilis does. It rots the tip of the nose and sends you insane.
Yeah.
And I always think that
Michael Jackson.
Hey.
His nose went weird. He was a bit nuts.
He was a bit nuts.
Hee.
See, there's a new documentary I heard him that's like he's gonna. I always think just gone off tangent slightly.
Yeah.
Do you think that Michael Jackson has got this bit of a fucking he can't be called a nonce? Whereas if you went to the pub, went to the jukebox and put on Gary Glitter's "Wanna Be in My Gang," you'd get beat up or thrown out.
Yeah.
But if you go in the pub with Thriller on, everyone's like,
okay.
Thriller.
Because it's one of them things where he's so beloved.
He's got a golden ticket, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, he's so beloved, no one really wants to believe anything bad happened. And he settled out of court, so he was never charged.
found guilty like
Gary
Gary
Glitter
was.
was charged, sentenced more than once. I think he fucking did it again, and he got caught with pornography that he shouldn't have had the second time. Or was that the first time? Either way, fuck him. But I get your point, but the point is, he was never actually charged with anything, so people are just like, they're willing to brush it under the carpet because the music's so good and they loved him so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas, I'm trying to think of and you've also got stuff like, I can't think of his name, like Macaulay Culkin. He was in the news recently, like, defending the shit out of him, wasn't he? Just like,
Alright.
basically like, yeah, look, he didn't have a childhood, right? So he could see how famous I was as a kid and just wanted me to feel normal and just know that somebody else understood, and we just hung out and had loads of fun, and he made me feel normal. Totally defending the guy and saying he was fucking awesome. So,
Yeah.
And the other kid, didn't he end up killing himself?
I don't know.
Oh, it might be, I should say alleged. I'm sure something weird happened after the case. Like he was pushed into saying what he was saying, I think.
The parents
by
were weird with that, because they were
Yeah.
like, oh, well, Michael Jackson abused our son, he stepped in the bed. Oh, thank you for that $10 million.
Yeah.
And then they took the 10 million and they sent his younger brother to go and stay
Yeah.
with him, and you're like, well, what are you doing?
Extorting money.
Yeah, they just saw the paycheck, didn't they?
But in that case, why is Michael Jackson going, yeah, alright.
Well, because he fucking loved hanging out with kids.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
the fact that family's just had $10 million off you. It smeared your name with the mud.
But maybe he didn't want it to affect his friendship. I
Ah,
don't know.
well, whatever.
Either way.
Do you remember when he had them white kids?
He's dangling them off a balcony.
Yeah.
Well, they still got him.
They were white as white, weren't they?
Well, you know,
He wasn't originally.
yeah, but DNA, when he changed his skin colour with however he did it,
Changed his DNA.
maybe it affected his DNA and his little spunky men.
Maybe it was just a sperm donor, because they were all,
probably.
none of the women he actually slept with, was it? It was always allegedly they were IVF'd.
Yeah, I've got no fucking
think.
idea. All I know is, do you know?
Did he ever get married?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Priscilla
Priscilla
Presley. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That
Then
was
she
his daughter.
realised that he was a bit of a weirdo and left him.
She realised he was so mental he made her father seem normal, who used to watch behind a two-way mirror while other people shagged women because he found vaginas to be like, they made him cringe and go weird.
Is that true?
That's what I heard.
Wow.
Where did you hear that? Crap then.
I bet it wasn't at the Elvis Museum. I bet it wasn't at Graceland, was it?
When I smoked crack, it wasn't in a den. It was in quite a nice house, actually.
When you smoked in someone's nice house. That's even worse.
No, it's not.
But you'd rather be in a stinking crack den.
Yeah, but ruining someone's house with the smell of crack.
Oh, that's what matters.
You can open a window.
Someone's worked hard for that house. They spent time decorating it.
Yeah,
There's
they
no
also
smoking
liked
crack
a
in
little
every
bit of
room.
crack.
Yeah, if
You want to smoke crack,
he
go to
goes
someone's got bare walls and wooden floor. Just
Yeah.
mad as gas.
He's also only got a 50% chance of making it alive.
No, that's the risk you take when you smoke crack. You accept that risk.
No,
you
but in a
live with
nice house, you got 100% chance of living.
Yeah.
Crack den, you know, it drops radically.
it.
Yeah.
No, someone's worked hard for that nice house. And you're smoking crack in the front room.
Someone's worked hard for that crack den.
The person who worked hard for that house was also smoking crack in it.
Oh, so it was his house?
Yes.
Was his parents' house, rather? Oh, he'd bought... Oh, alright then. Okay, got him. That's up to him then. Personal choice.
For the listener, that was all just a joke, and I've never smoked crack. There was this one time. But anyway,
Was it in a crack den?
back to Jack the Ripper. No, it wasn't. It was in a nice house. That bit of the story was true.
Ah,
Originally, the crack would have been in a crack den, but I wasn't the one who went to get it.
Was it very Moorish?
It was, yes. You know,
Look at your life turned out alright. There's hope for anybody.
Because it was just a one-off thing. That's a key part of the story. It was just, oh yeah, I'll try crack. But like, I didn't go back the next day, and then the day after that, and then the day after that, and then as my teeth start to slowly drop from my head, still keep going back, and as I end up sucking businessmen's cocks in fucking toilets just for a bit of money to go and get another fix, I was still like, yeah, more. I didn't do that, just once.
Just once.
And then you've got the experience, you've
so it
scratched
wasn't
that
that
itch.
Moorish then.
Well, it was at that point, but you know, you don't instantly get addicted, do you? It's
Well,
not
so
like
they
you have a
say
little
once you
toot
go
and go,
crack-
fuck, I'll never be the same again.
And once you go crack, you don't go back.
Well, that's not necessarily true. So anyway, Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper, okay.
Remember when we were saying before the show, sometimes we regret some of the things we say when we listen back. That's going to be one of those bits for me. Jack the Ripper.
I'll make sure it goes in the show notes. Look at you now, you've got a family.
Gaz makes shocking crack history revelation. No, don't put it in the show notes. Back to Jack the Ripper!
It was all thanks to my life coach that you're where you are now.
Oh, for fuck's sake, fuck off. Jack the Ripper.
When we get back into it, just pause it, sir. There's nothing to beer outside.
We're back after I've had to go get Mikey's beer.
Nah.
When they searched the area around Catherine Eddowes, they found a bit of interesting piece of graffiti on the wall, and it said, "The Jews are the men who will not be blamed for nothing."
Ah.
Double negative.
It is. A lot of anti-Semitism in Whitechapel. The thing you knew was this: Jack the Ripper was Jewish. That was the common consensus. A lot of anti-Semitism, a lot of immigrant feeling.
So it should have been
He's a
Jew the
foreigner.
Ripper.
So, Jew the Ripper.
Interestingly, Jew was spelled J-U-W-E-S.
Oh? What?
J-U-W-E-S.
Oh, well, spelling does change over time.
There's also a bit of Masonic connection to that. It might be the fact that it's actually a double meaning.
Mm-hmm.
You know the Masons, go back to our Mason episode, there's those two apprentices who killed their master.
Yeah.
They were Julia and Juliana or something like that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They had names like starting with Jew, any road, I can't remember the top of my head. And they murdered their master, and that's a bit one of the tenets of Masonry. So that's why the people think there's a Masonic connection to the river.
I've already showed the pyramid in the eyes.
Yeah?
Did you think he's a Jew? Sorry, I'm
not going into suspects this week.
Okay, well, let me get this straight in my mind then. So, because there's so much anti-Semitism, he's a Jewish person, he's going to kill some white prostitutes.
Yeah.
Just to scare you.
Well, a few years before this, there'd been a Jewish guy who had murdered an English East End woman by pouring nitric acid down her throat.
Wowzers. That sounds harsh.
Yeah, so obviously they're thinking, well, he's done that, look at that guy. He did that.
Do you reckon it was like in RoboCop when that guy gets thrown in the acid and then the car hits him and he just explodes into pieces? Did she go stumbling out into the street and like a horse and cart hit her and she just went into liquid? She liquefied.
Couldn't tell you.
Just spitballing.
Maybe.
Possibly. It's a possibility. It happened in RoboCop. That's all I know about acid is if you fucking fall in some, your skin will go. Whoa. That's an awesome bit though, isn't it? Come on.
And you end up being the Joker.
Oh, well, no, sometimes, yeah, it works. Depends. It can even be that, or
Depends on the mixes, doesn't it?
or yeah, which type of acid, or it's the dangly skin and you pop like a balloon when the car hits you.
I'm hoping it's the Joker.
Yeah. Unless you're the one driving the car. That's such a good bit, man.
Oh, film's good.
I love it. Yeah, sorry, that was a tangent. It's been a RoboCop heavy weekend for me, so that's what.
Alright, so the last of the canonical five is Mary Jane Kelly, who was 25. And she was discovered by a shop assistant, Thomas Bowyer, who'd been sent to collect her rent. She was behind with her rent. She actually had a room. Mm-hmm. This wasn't out on the street. She'd taken him back to her room for this.
So she was a high-class hooker.
She just had made enough to get a room. She was 25, I suppose. She was the better scale of the East End prostitutes.
She looked 45, but...
Apparently she was quite attractive.
No.
She hadn't always been a prostitute. This is more casual for her.
Okay.
So he knocked the door and received no answer. He managed to push his hand through a broken pane of glass and turn the door. Mm-hmm. And then he pulled the curtain across. He didn't turn the door. And the first thing he saw was described as 2 lumps of meat sitting on the bedside table. The second thing he saw sent him running back to his office. A bloody corpse, mangled beyond recognition, body parts strewn across the bed. Her body nude and lay in the middle of the bed, head to the left, right arm partially disconnected, her legs spread wide. The whole surface of the abdomen and thighs had been removed, the abdominal cavity empty, the breast cut off, arms mutilated by jagged cuts, her face hacked beyond all recognition of the features, and the tissues of the neck were severed to the bone. Entrails and organs piled to the right of the body, her uterus, kidney and one breast placed under her head. The left lung was torn and her heart was missing. The lumps of meat Bowyer saw on the table, the first thing he saw, were the flaps of skin taken from the thighs and abdomen. The nose, cheeks, ears and eyebrows had all been partially removed and the lips sliced multiple times.
He's gone full axe.
Yes. Basically, he had time, didn't he? Wasn't out on the street, wasn't out in the cold and the dark. He's had time to do what he wants in here. He's undisturbed.
Sounds like a ninja went off, just, went psycho. With a knife.
But I mean, they had to identify Mary Kelly from her eyes and ears. That's how much of a mess he made.
Did he do what he said he was going to? Eyes and nose, Jack the Ripper took my toes,
Harsh.
No, did he do what he said he was going to do with the leg?
No, but the interesting thing about the clip in the ears was that was sent before the double event and he clipped the ears.
Okay.
So that's why they think that one is spot on. Or it was a copycat.
Mike still likes the song. Well, so I've put more weight behind the letter now then. And it does sound like, I don't know man, like an animal, like a bear attack, but then you just put, I'll make her a pillow of pieces before I leave.
Well, I think there's definitely some sort of insanity there, but he's a product killer, Jack the Ripper.
I reckon it was Bigfoot.
And I've got a couple of... I think... I'm just trying to visualise Bigfoot in Edwardian clothing, Victorian clothes. He's got a black top hat, a black suit, white cape, cane, and he's this big hairy Chewbacca face, and he's like, just goes into these ESM prostitutes and goes, and they're like,
but
yeah.
If he's naked though, well not naked, just normal Bigfoot without the clothes, you'd smell him coming.
Not in Whitechapel, you wouldn't.
Yeah, you would, because he's been walking through all that shit for so long.
So is everyone else.
Yeah, but his fur, it'll be
yeah.
matted and encrusted up to his fucking thighs like in weeks worth of
First thing
shit.
you see is his big dong swimming on,
There's also
glistening in the moonlight.
that's got beans on it.
Beads of dried fucking Bigfoot spunk. I'll clean that off for you, Governor. For half an halfpenny.
4pence.
I love Whitechapel. It's a possibility.
It's a bit of an out there theory, but
What
I'm sticking.
I do like the image of a Victorian gentleman Bigfoot. It's fantastic. What about if he was also Sherlock Holmes?
And
What if Sherlock Holmes was a Victorian Bigfoot?
Well, now you're just being silly.
No. What if he went around solving crimes?
Well, people would notice. Oh, why are you 8 foot tall and have big sharp claws and a big gorilla face? You don't really look very human, to be honest, Sherlock.
No shit, Watson. Physical deformities were common in this time period.
He's more likely to be in the circus as the fucking freak show.
Maybe he escaped from one and his partner's the Elephant Man.
Come and see the monkey in a suit.
What about if Bigfoot and the Elephant Man are going around Victorian London solving crimes? Stood out there.
That's like a really shit low budget movie.
That we need to make.
No. Oh, you're the Elephant Man then.
I'll be the Elephant Man. I'm the camera. I'm directing this one.
I'm going to be Bigfoot then. Anyway, look, it's obviously not Bigfoot. No, I mean, it could be Bigfoot doing the murders, but he's obviously not Sherlock Holmes.
Thank you.
I just know. In the multiverse somewhere he is, but anyway.
How awesome would Sherlock Holmes' Bigfoot be though in a multiverse so everyone else is a Bigfoot?
Oh, well, that's an entirely different proposition, isn't it? It's a planet of the Bigfoots, but then we're focused in just on this detective and his mate.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be more interesting to find out how this Bigfoot society developed into mega cities and...
Well, we can put all sorts of prequels to it, Gaz.
Especially when... But the
I think the
dialogue's not gonna be
franchise,
very
mate, it's
good,
the franchise.
But the dialogue's going to be...
Subtitles will be fine.
I'm not reading a film.
Like a foreign film.
I've established before I was elected to lead, not to read. I don't read films. Not anymore. I'm not a student anymore. Anyway.
Mike, can we have the PC on a second, please? And I'll take you through a bit of psychology.
Oh, fucking hell.
So let's have a bit of psychoanalysis.
Don't you psychoanalyse me, I'll psychoanalyse you, so help me God.
Oh God, I don't think any of us should be psychoanalysed.
No, we shouldn't ever do that to the listener. Okay, come on then. Psychoanalysis of Jack.
Scroll down a little bit, please. So what kind of killer was the Ripper? Serial killers are often classified as either psychopaths or sociopaths. While psychopaths suffer from mental chronic disorders demonstrating violent social behaviour, sociopaths suffer from personality disorders with extreme behaviours and attitudes. Determining which of these disorders an individual actually has often decides their punishment should a crime be committed. Now in the case of Jack the Ripper, there's been much speculation regarding whether or not he was a psychopath or a sociopath. Was he afflicted with a mental illness that drove him towards his horrific violent outbursts towards the prostitutes of 18th century London? Or was it an entirely different personality with an otherwise normal person in Whitechapel 1888? So, when it comes to the Jack the Ripper story, There are supporters on both sides of the fence regarding the question. So let's say the evidence of being a psychopath. With no way of knowing who he was, beyond speculation and guesswork, the reasons for the killer being a psychopath lie in his actions concerning his victims. Many people suggest the Ripper was a psychopath because he was smart enough to ensure no clues are left behind. He was never caught and was most certainly regarded as charming and gentlemanly in society. Psychopaths are meticulous in their planning, which is part of the reason they're harder to catch. They like to stick to their plans despite obstacles in their way. This was demonstrated by his carrying out of the second kill of his double event despite almost being caught in the first murder of the evening. So if we go back, also I want to point something out. The facial mutilation on Catherine Eddowes. Now, the triangles, the slits down the eyelids, the other little triangles and she can carve and a slash down the face. That's being done in pitch darkness. He's thought about that a lot. That's what he wants to do. I think he's gone over that so many times in his head he can just do it in the dark.
Is there a Victorian equivalent of, you know, the torch on a strap that you put on your head?
A head torch?
Yeah, a head torch. There you go.
No, they'd ordered sort of gas lanterns.
But could you not attach that to your forehead?
No, because
you stand out a bit.
and plus it's dangerous to have that in
Yeah.
your face.
I mean, I know it might
It'd be
singe.
quite warm.
Yeah, it might singe a little, but he might have put leather.
But imagine if
he
you
might
just
have
bumped into something and then you just head of his
you make
fire.
an explosion.
Yeah.
You
That happened to Michael
oil.
Jackson, funnily enough. No, but imagine it though. Logically, hear me out. If he developed some sort of contraption attached to his head that contained a gas light, right?
Yeah.
That would make this precise surgery a lot easier, wouldn't it, in the dark?
It would, but also it would make you stand out a lot in the gloomy Whitechapel streets. I think people might notice
Yeah, but
a man looking slightly at the ordinary because he's got
No,
a gas lantern
no,
strapped
'cause
to his head.
He's lurking about when there's fucking nobody about. That's alright. Maybe
There could have been a candle
he
in
doesn't
the
light
room.
it till after he snuck up behind her and slit her throat. Then he turns it
There
on.
could have been a candle in the window.
A candle in the window.
Alright, well look at this way. It was certainly low
That's true.
visibility.
That's probably more plausible.
it was low visibility anyway. So I think
So
like
he
the
was
psychopath thing.
Yeah.
Is it
I still think
meticulous
it's the
planning?
Illuminati though, isn't it? With the pyramids in the eyes.
Well, there is the Masonic thing, and I'll go into that next week when we do part 2, because that's when we're going to the conspiracies and the suspects, or some of the suspects, the most likely suspects, let's say. Because I'm not going through a fucking 100 suspects.
No, nobody wants that. Look. Well, what's the evidence? That's the evidence
Yes.
for psychopath. What's the evidence for sociopath?
Sociopaths. So sociopaths usually end up the way they are due to traumatic events such as abuse in their early lives.
Racism because he's a Jew.
Well, from where?
He was
Yeah?
kicked around as a baby.
Who's to say? There are plenty of people who think that Jack the Ripper was in fact a sociopath, in part because sociopaths tend to move around a lot, and this would explain why the killings were concentrated over a few months and then he was never heard of again. It also explains displaying his victims' bodies post-mutilation along with the way in which they were killed. The notion that Jack the Ripper dressed up as someone with money to attract his prostitute victims demonstrates sociopathic tendencies and a split personality disorder. Another sociopathic leaning is the fact that his modus operandi changed with the last kill. This not only demonstrated that he was an experienced criminal, but also capable of breaking, entering and stalking on top of murder and mutilation.
Well, nah, you could still get your first time burglary right, couldn't you?
Of course
You see what I mean? Because it's saying that he was obviously an experienced criminal on top of everything else. No, not necessarily. I think that's a leap.
I think it's escalation for the last one. He's got the time, he can do what he
Yeah.
wants. He's always
He's confident.
he's confident because he's killed 4 already.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking, well, his last one, I've got time here. I'm on the street. Someone might not find me. He's doing all this very quickly.
Yeah. And if you're smart enough to know human anatomy, you're smart enough to figure out I could put my hand through that glass door and open it from the other side. Like, but it's not. I just think it's a bit of a leap for him to go, he's obviously an experienced criminal as well. It's, no, I don't know. He could have just flipped his lid. He just had one too many racist comment. Somebody pissed him off and off he went. I don't know, I'm just saying.
Yeah. So the psychological profile of the FBI was made public in 2011.
Previously secret.
What the FBI got to do with it?
Dossier.
Get your fucking nose out, this is Britain.
I think they just do it as a training exercise more than anything, like a theoretical exercise.
Get your own serial killers.
They got plenty.
I'd invoke Brexit so people from the FBI could study our serial killers. I didn't vote Brexit.
This was also in 2011 and Brexit wasn't a possibility at that point.
Please continue.
The killer was likely to be smart, strong, and liked to be in control. He killed quickly, made no sexual assaults, and mutilated his victims post-mortem with no evidence to suggest torture before death. The changing of the MO on the last victim indicates he was deliberately trying to avoid being caught, which could mean that police investigations were getting close. It also suggests that he was gaining confidence in his work. He most likely found pleasure in the degrading situations he left his victims in and enjoyed their vulnerability. It's probable that he lived nearby to clean up swiftly post-murder. The document also suggested he was a loner, possibly disfigured, and very likely to be unmarried.
Elephant Man?
He was likely to be neat, orderly, and from an unstable background. Writing letters to the police and taunting them suggests that he was proud of his work and that his victims were merely a consequence of his action, an action that he deemed justified. After looking through the evidence and psychological profile, the consensus is that Jack the Ripper was a sociopath. Psychopath, sorry. Got that wrong. That revelled in the notoriety of his own crimes.
Well,
I just think the reason he went to town on Mary Kay, the reason he did so much was because he had the time.
Well, if the FBI could have got hold of him, they would have injected him full of LSD and thrown him off a fucking building, probably, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Bless him. Oh no, that was the CIA. Shit. Got my letter agencies mixed up.
Oh man.
Well, I don't know. I don't have a theory yet until I've heard some of the suggestions. But we're doing that next
Yeah,
part,
there's a lot to go through with that. So.
What I take from this week is Whitechapel was a horrific, nightmarish vision of barely existing. You know, you'd be better off dead than to live there. And I think he did these women a favour.
Wow. I'm not going with that.
It's dark.
That's grimdark.
So are the streets with rivers of shit.
Yeah, life was terrible.
And dead babies floating past you in the shit river.
It was, but I'm sure if you'd have asked them, they'd have rather been alive. I think anyone would.
No, not me. But anyway, who am I? Just a mere podcaster on
Just
the
a
internet.
mere white male.
Oh, don't you start. Sick of white people calling other white people white. So stupid.
Gaz, what means a white Gaz?
Oh. Don't make me say something I'll regret. Back to Jack the Ripper.
So there's two kinds of killer, and I'll explain them briefly. There's a process killer. He's the one that likes to do it for the process of killing. These are your sadistic killers like Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, or the Toy Box Killer. Almost all torturers fall into this category. Either he has to have some kind of paraphernalia that makes it difficult for him. Paraphernalia. Paraphilia, sorry. Yeah, paraphernalia is something completely different. So he has some paraphilia that makes it difficult for him to have sexual release, so there's certain stimuli that leads to death. Sadism, strangulation, stabbing, whatever it may be, or the act of taking a life itself is what he craves.
Always sexual in at the end.
Yeah.
There was a
basest instinct.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that I'm happy with just, my fist. Just normal cock fist action, do you know what I mean? None of this like, oh, I need a stiletto heel pressed against my anus with a knife to my throat.
Or a plastic bag over
get
my
there.
head.
Yeah, what I'm so grateful that just nothing weird happened to me in those early years where you get imprinted upon. That's where they think fetishes come from.
Yeah.
Something happens to you in youth and this experience imprints on you and then just escalates as you get older. So, yeah, these poor people, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, because some people need to murder and kill and torture in order to get off, whereas I can simply just type in big tits to ex-hamster, just 30 seconds later, perfectly normal ham shandy. Stop looking at me like I kill prostitutes, Ben, I don't.
Not anymore.
Yes, those days are long gone. I've settled down now, I'm a family man.
Clean the van out, have you?
Yes, with bleach. Because it was dirt. That's a normal thing for a van driver to do.
Personally, I think you should burn the interior and just burn the van.
Oh, I've never
That's
killed
the only way
anyone
you
in
get
the
rid of
front.
the evidence that's left in there.
No, it's all metal in the back. You just wash it down. Brillo pads for the really thick bits. But anyway.
Burn the mattress though.
Oh, I burnt that a long time ago, yeah.
Did it have one last crescendo on it?
No, it was on fire then.
No, before you burnt it.
No.
One last one for good old times. Trip down memory lane.
What, wank or murder?
Murder.
Oh, no.
Murder wank.
I suppose I could have chucked her on the fire, but...
Would have made sense.
Anyway, just for the listener, if this is your first episode, that's a long-running joke just because I own a van and I'm not an actual prostitute killer. Yet.
Allegedly.
Shut the fuck up.
So product killers. Product killers, on the other hand, are much rarer, and in the opinion of this blogger, interesting case. Product killers kill in order to achieve some end result. They don't take pleasure in the killing itself, and in some cases wouldn't even do it if it weren't for needing the end product. In the case of Jeffrey Dahmer, this end product was a comatose sex slave that would never leave him. That is true, he tried to make zombies.
He did, yeah.
For Ed Gein, it was women's skin for suits and his reupholstery purposes. Some Black Widow killers also fall into this category. They don't necessarily want to go through the process of strangling or poisoning their husband, they just want him out the way. Similarly, angels of death don't necessarily enjoy the act of poisoning their victims. It's the martyr complex-like feeling they get when they've provided mercy. So yeah, that's Jack the Ripper for this week. Any thoughts?
Like I said, he did him a favour. Whitechapel sounds horrible.
It was.
Can you read the last paragraph?
Oh, obligatory. Serial killing is wrong. Whether you're doing it because you like cutting up pretty girls with chainsaws, or just you want some cool schools for your satanic altar. Don't serial kill people.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I'll try and bear that in mind in future.
If you want schools for your satanic altar, go to the graveyard like the rest of us.
Some podcast I was listening to, they looked at, you can buy a human skeleton online, like an actual human skeleton, so you don't need to grave rob. I think they're expensive as fuck, but you can buy them.
I've been toying with the idea of getting an anatomical one to put in my room.
Why?
That's going to be fun, be a bit of a talking piece.
It's going to put you off when you're on the old X-porn, isn't it?
Just look the other way.
I guess. Whatever floats your boat, mate.
Well, he's dead, he don't care, does he?
Well, it's just a plastic one, it's not real.
You can get the real ones, can't you?
You can, yeah, but I can't afford that.
You could also get a nice clock.
I think it's for... I think you just buy them off the internet.
You can get them anyway.
Can you?
Yeah, you can get the
Real
plastic.
skulls?
No, the plastic ones.
Yeah, I want about the real ones.
Oh.
They're only for like...
Specialist places.
Yeah,
I
like
imagine
universities
sell
and
them.
things and learning. You can't just get it down there.
Could we call
Hey mate, we're working in
Down the
school.
local.
Oh, no, guess
What you
5 pints. Guess 5 pints.
I've got some Spanish tobacco, couple of DVDs, latest Hollywood movies. You interested in any fucking skulls, mate?
Yeah, alright. Give us
Human skull,
some,
you know.
What kind of skull? How big is it?
Child size.
Any adult ones?
Oh, fucking hell, man, I'm only small time. You know what I mean?
Got a psychopath. Sells child skulls in a pub.
Well, it was your idea. I was just bringing it to life.
Yeah, it's funny.
It wasn't. I don't sell teasing. Moving on. I got flustered. I really need a piss, gentlemen.
Right, so we'll get on with some weird news then.
Okay.
So yeah, and we're back and we'll finish off with some weird news and never go full Alex.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
The first one is from the Mirror. Student phones in bomb hoax on parents' EasyJet flight to stop them visiting him.
Legend.
The 23-year-old student was arrested after he made a bomb threat against flight, whatever that number is, I can fuck it, travelling from Lyon to Rennes in Rennes?
Ren, I think.
Rennes in France.
Well, that is extreme, but fair play.
Yeah.
It's going to work.
He made an anonymous phone call. Parents were travelling on board the aircraft and he didn't want to see them. The aircraft was reportedly carrying 159 passengers, was forced to turn around shortly after takeoff. Police later arrested the man who confessed to cheating, creating false news, compromising the safety of an aircraft in flight. Wow, just a phone call, mate.
Yeah, but
It's weird calling it false news because it wasn't news because he didn't go online and say it. He rang up and told you personally. It's a strange choice of words. Maybe it's just translation because this is French. French? That's not a word.
French.
French. But yeah, that's extreme and rather silly because I would imagine that in these sorts of cases where someone has threatened a bomb on an aeroplane, they've got fairly sophisticated technology as to work out where the call came from. And if you're just some bum student, you're not like some high-level terrorist organisation with encrypted calls and, you know, he's just a knob. He probably used his, like, the payphone right outside his house or something. Or his home phone.
Mobile?
Probably used his mobile, the prick. Oh, well. I mean, I admire the levels he's prepared to go to as to avoid his parents. And nobody got hurt, let's face it. But I'm not celebrating what he did. But
Why did you just bring up and say I don't want to see you?
It's a bit of a dick move, isn't it?
yeah, but it's funny.
It's funny, but it is a bit of a dick move.
Yeah, I agree. Bomb hoaxes are bad. You're
Yeah,
wasting
they are
everyone's
bad.
time.
Let's not never call a bomb hoax.
Nope. Next.
Yeah.
Not unless you really need to.
Man undergoes $200,000 of plastic surgery to look like Jesus Christ.
What? No one knows what he looked like!
No, we're going off the picture of what's his face, Borgia.
So what
the
the fucking correct headline should be, man undergoes £200,000 worth of plastic surgery to look like artist's interpretation of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
The particular artist who has done whichever particular picture this fucker's trying to look like. What a pleb.
Yeah, that is a picture of one of the Borgia family, who were popes back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, in the
And they
medieval
just
period, yeah.
got him to
That's
pretend
one of
to be
the
Jesus.
sons, yeah. They
Jesus was a
Roman.
Palestinian Jew.
Yeah.
He looks a lot like the professional wrestler Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I don't
Not
think-
him, the picture.
No, I've got to tell you, I don't think this is real. It's on World News Daily.
Oh, man.
I think it's some Thai website.
We've been fake news.
I've been
Fake
fake
news.
news. I've been fake newsed.
Fake news.
Oh, man.
I saw an article on this the other day.
Because to be
Sorry.
fair,
Yeah, I think you might be right there, Mike. You didn't scroll down the very bottom.
Yeah.
I look a bit like Jesus. Don't you think, boys? With the hair? No?
No.
What? I've got long hair, I look like Jesus?
You look like the interpretation of Jesus.
No, when it's me, it's different. I do look a lot like him. We're from the same sort of genetic stock, me and Jesus. You know, magical.
Do some magic then.
No, it doesn't work like that, Ben.
All right.
You know, like in The Force Awakens, where like, you know, the black guy, sorry, I forgot his name, which is Finn, he's like, we should use the Force, and like, Han Solo's like, it doesn't, Force doesn't work like that. Magic doesn't work like that. I can't just do it.
Oh, so
I'm not like a magician.
What do
I
you do?
don't do fucking card
You have
tricks.
to at least have a live goat.
Yeah.
It's a sacrifice.
Yeah. And a knife, some cocaine.
oh, that kind of magic.
Yeah. And a high class hooker.
Oh, it's a shame all this is fake. Oh well. I'm done. Dispose of it.
Okay.
The Daily Star. Humans to download their souls onto microchips so they can live forever. Nothing wrong with that. Go for
You
it.
want to live forever.
Was that Oasis?
Yeah.
In a robot body.
Yeah.
Well, I guess. Not forever though. You're gonna live forever.
I
Okay.
don't know. Richard Skellett, a founder of digital anthropologist and an expert for future of work, has warned of a future in which British workers have chips inserted underneath their skin.
We've had enough of experts, Ben. In this country.
The process has already been trialled with company Biotech, fitting 150 implants in the UK. And Sweden-based firm Biohacks told the Sunday Telegraph that it is in discussions with several British companies about microchipping.
David Icke was right. He's been talking about this for fucking donkey's years.
Yeah,
Cashless society.
That's
They
what
can
he
switch
says.
off
Yeah.
your chip.
Yeah. And just destroy you, make you a ghost.
Ghost in the Shell.
Goddamn.
Have you seen the Scarlett Johansson
I have.
version?
No.
I mean, I thought it was quite good.
It was alright, wasn't it?
I was
It
pleasantly
wasn't a patch
surprised.
on the. It wasn't a patch on the original.
No, but I was surprised with how close they actually
Yeah.
stuck to
It
it.
was a decent film, wasn't it?
Yeah, I really
I was
enjoyed
expecting it to be quite shit.
Yeah, me too, because Leona said it was good, and I was like, I don't know, I love the cartoon, Leona, and she'd never seen it. So I was like, oh, I love that fucking manga.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the cartoon.
Well, then you might
It's on the
give
DVD about 10 years ago. It hasn't watched
5
it.
years ago.
It's where no Ghost in the Shell anime, no Matrix, it's pre-Matrix. They even ripped off like the opening credits, like green digital numbers on a black background, like coding. They even ripped that off, like a lot of the themes in Ghost in the Shell. Anyway, give the Scarlett Johansson. If you've not seen the cartoon, you'll like it even more. So give that one a go. It's a good film, good sci-fi film, some good action.
I'd watch that one first, then go back.
Yeah.
Because you watch the animation, you might not like the Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, that's what I would say. But yeah, give it a go. It's good. Anyway, back to that was our little tip. I was thinking we probably should have this discussion off air, but fuck it. We should have a little section where we say what we've been, if we've watched or read anything. You know what I mean? That we think's good.
Yeah.
Pick of the week, that sort of thing. Mine is if you go to X-Hamster and type in, it's a joke.
I was genuinely intrigued.
No, we're not going to do what porn have we watched this week. Anyway, is there any more news? Oh no, is there more to this story?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we didn't read it. We went off on a robot tangent.
Yeah. But as humans and machines become more in sync, it could open up to all sorts of possibilities, including being able to live forever.
Live forever.
Speaking to Star Online, Mr. Skeller explained, there's a lot of talk at the moment about microchipping employees, and there's some companies that are actually doing that. But I see benefits from it. It also opens up a whole roster of other things, like being reborn.
Nah, it's giving up your freedom and your...
Yeah.
Fuck that.
So they're implanted in the flesh between the thumb and forefinger. Chips are able to store medical data and other personal information.
Between the thumb and forefinger. Why is Gaz's chip moving so rapidly? All the time. He could power windmills.
Get that man a windmill. Mrs. Skinner added, living forever might sound crazy at the moment because the technology isn't quite there. But we already have the technology to clone. The only thing is that something may be an exact replica in terms of DNA, but it may be nothing like you because we are made up of both nature and nurture. Well, I would say that nature is to do with learning. You're a product of everything you've experienced, your likes, your dislikes, and that's arguably your soul. Your soul is you. It's your beliefs. It's your values.
Well...
So if you stick that chip in the body and put it in another body, it's you.
I guess, but they deal with this problem in the RoboCop films, as discussed off air. Because I've been reading the Frank Miller original scripts converted into comic books, and it is this idea of what they've done to RoboCop. He was dead, as far as he knew. And then they've gone and stuck him in this machine for their own benefit. They didn't ask him. He literally says in the script, my problem with all of this is they never asked me. I never had a say in it.
Yeah.
And now I'm stuck in this. You know, are you a man if you've just been downloaded? But that is a question way beyond my philosophical capabilities, to be perfectly honest. It would be cool to have a RoboCop body, although Murphy doesn't seem to like it.
No.
Haunted by the... Oh, and I read in it too, this is pretty cool, never thought about this. So all he is like the brain, the face, the spinal column.
Yeah.
But they kept his nerve endings.
Yeah.
They used to like spread the electric or the info so he can feel pain, man. So even though he can take all those bullets and missiles and shit, he's still feeling every time, like, fuck!
That seems just quite cruel, really.
It's pretty dark, isn't it? Poor old Robo.
Should have shot him in the mouth.
They talk about that in the comic quite a bit. Like, what happens if you get shot in the mouth? He said, I think I'll die. This little girl's asking him. But she turns out to be a robot, and there's a cool scene where he rips her head off.
Wow.
When he realises she's a robot. But yeah, he's like, oh, well, I'd die if I got shot in the mouth, because it would go through the back of his brain, probably.
Yeah.
And I don't want to think about that, Ben.
Just pointing it out.
No, he'll run forever.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
Or until his face starts to
Until
rot.
he goes rusty, yeah, and that might happen.
We'll have to change his face at some point.
Yeah, because if he's like 90 years old in human years...
Unless they do something with his skin to preserve it.
Move.
His brain has sort of slowed down as he got older, so he's only got a finite... He's only got like the lifespan as he would have.
Shit, what if Robocop gets Alzheimer's?
Exactly.
He's just fucking shooting children off their bikes.
Well, exactly.
Ah, well. Now, that's the sequel that I don't want to see. Robocop, the geriatric years. Not cool.
No.
Anyway, back to the chips. Would you, though? Do you think being microchipped for your fucking job is a massive invasion of your privacy.
Yeah, of
So
course
they
it
know
is.
exactly when you're on and off premises,
Fuck it.
your exact location at
Do
all
you know
times.
what these people, the government did to the teachers in one state in America? They gave them all Fitbits.
Fuck's
And
sake.
if they didn't sort of do enough exercise during that week, they'd be hauled into a tribunal to explain why.
Fucking hell.
Well, in a way, that's good because you don't want to be taught by a fat fuck. But I'm joking. Well, that's obviously a massive invasion.
Just
That's
a bit.
You know, oh, fuck them. Oh, man. Did you see that fucking tweet? I don't know who tweeted it, some politician. He was like, you know, this government, we've never let people work for free before in this country, you know, and we need to never let it happen again. And it's like, I think you're missing something out quite big in your history, aren't you, where a lot of people were made to work for free for a very long time.
Yeah.
Post-Brexit, it will be again.
What, I'm going to be put on a ship and sent to America to pick cotton? Fuck me, Brexit's worse than I was planning. Will I ever see my family again?
I've got this image of just people in wanking booths powering windmills for food.
Oh, what a future.
You know, if you don't do enough fucking knuckle shuffles in a day, you don't get your food.
Oh, man.
It'd be a
Wanking
good
for Britain! Power that windmill!
stuck in a wank prison. That's most men's lives. It's just self-imposed.
See, people will be fucking flocking to them.
I don't know. Is it better to just be able to walk around in between wanks and do what you want, rather than be in a prison?
Yeah, but you're starved. It's the only way you get food. Power the mill, so you get a bit of corn.
I'll
You
kill
get a bit of
my
stale bread at the end of the day.
I'll kill the neighbours.
What a grim, dark, dystopian future.
I'd rather
That's
be
Brexit.
Robocop.
That's post-Brexit.
Wow, Mike's prediction for post-Brexit wank prisons to generate
the
power.
British male population stuck in wank prisons. Wow.
Fuck me. Well, myself, I guess.
So what's full Alex this week, Mike?
So, microchipping bad?
Yeah, I wouldn't be microchipping my
Well,
job.
it says what will happen to individuals when their body chip is hacked. Identifications could be stolen without the individual even being aware it's happened. It could mean that you are cloned without even knowing it by a hacker.
It can make you murder your wife,
Yeah, could do.
drink your dog's piss.
Give us your acne though.
Well.
You know the clone then, he took one with the acne.
Right, let's do fun, Alex.
Were you trying to get crazy with this, eh? Don't you know I'm loco?
The name of the game is For Alex. So each week Mike finds us a couple of lunatics to go up against Saint Alex in a battle of who's the more batshit insane. So I think
Because
we've got...
listener,
Oh, yes.
you
Yes, go on.
never, it's okay, what is it, to go half, Alex? Even 3/4 sometimes, but never, I repeat, never go full Alex Jones. No one wants that.
No.
It's not good for anyone.
No. So I believe there's a couple of returning show favourites.
Couple of Titans.
Couple of Titans. This is Gaz. This is a three-way for the heavyweight title.
Okay,
of
so
WrestleMania.
Clash of the Titans, this is a WrestleMania level event. Is
Yeah,
it?
it
Let's
is.
do this then. Regular listeners will be thrilled.
Yep.
Who have we
First
got?
up, Jesse Lee Peterson.
Oh, fuck! Boo!
The man who's quite clearly had a stroke.
Oh my god, this guy is mentally challenged. I don't know if that's the politically correct term, but it's the one I fucking used.
Yes, a horrible individual. What's he saying?
He's got horrible views.
He's
on
a
that
hateful,
part.
shitty little man, is what
I
he is.
genuinely think he's had a stroke. That's not even taking a piss.
Well, he might have done.
Didn't
Didn't Stallone have a stroke? That's why he speaks like that.
No, I was only he was like a very small child.
Well, let's say it might have happened to him.
Yeah, but Stallone's not spouting this shit. I think it's affected his brain more than he's let on.
This cunt fell down the stairs when he was small, honestly. No, fucking bellend. Anyway, let's see.
Yeah.
He's, you know, let's see if he can take the title.
He's saying that unless white people take over, it's over for America.
And we should point out for the listener, Jesse Lee Peterson is a man who's black.
He's an African American.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
don't we end up with a kind of parasitic relationship between any group entering in a society then? Because you have other groups living in white society, they tend to reproduce more, or the migrants of these groups tend to have higher birth rate. So we never really have a stable society because everyone wants to live among whites, but they're not able to reciprocate in terms of handling society, in terms of making a society the way you describe it. So there's an infinite drainage of the ability of white to live among other people, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That's why they need to close the back door and the front door in this country and in Europe and clean up the mess. And then if you decide you want to let people of color in again, maybe you can be real selective like they did in the good old days about who you let in. But and another thing that we are doing too, we are encouraging white people to get married. Don't have babies out of wedlock. Don't abort your children. But white people need to get married and have a truckload of white children and teach them in the right way to go so they can help save America and Europe. Because it's not going to be saved by the people of color. It will be destroyed. And white people, for whatever reason, have been convinced that they need to have one child or two kids or not even any children, put their career first. The women are putting their career first, and as a result, they're going to end up being wiped out because they're not creating other white children. They need to have a truckload of white babies so that they can take over where the older whites are leaving off.
Now, looking at the demographic situation of the US and the voting pattern, it seems that what you call the children of the lie are on their way for a constant victory for the next decades and for any foreseeable future in the US. What do you recommend against this political reality? Should there be separation? Should there be trying to educate them into adhering to right-wing views? What do we do?
That's a very good question. And you're right. When I saw the Democrats in this country take over the House again, I was stunned by that. I thought American voters had enough when they got Obama out of there. But because millennials, young people, have been so demoralized and corrupt by the education system and others who are brainwashing them, they are voting these people back in. And so what I suggest is, what I tell the folks all the time is that white people, the good white folks are going to go to the moon or somewhere else, and they're going to create another country. And so I'm saving up my money. So when white people build a spaceship and go out into the space and build another country, I'm going to go with them. And I'm going to be first to buy some of the land because I know the land going to go up really fast. But unless white people take over, it's over for America. And white folks, not all, but most are afraid. They're afraid to be called racist. They're afraid to be called, the men are afraid to be called sexism and all that crap. And so they allow, out of fear, they allow the children of the lie to take over. And I'm very concerned of what's going to happen. That's why I'm so grateful for President Trump, the great white hope, because he has put like a stop to the fast destruction that was on our way when Obama and other Democrats were in charge.
Wow, there's so much to take in. You went on a real sort of roller coaster of emotion there, Jesse, with ever changing his face. So we went from people of ethnic minority outbreeding white people. Then we went to white people who are going to a rocket ship and go to space and start their own country. White people need to get married and have a ruck of kids.
It's very assumptuous of him to think that the white people are going to let him on the rocket.
He's saving up all his money, guys. He's going to buy some land because it's going to go up in price real fast.
I'm going to go on the rocket. Excuse me?
I just find it amazing that as an African American, he's quite quickly forgotten like the slave trade and things like that, and how his forebears were.
Racism never existed. We've already
I like the way he said.
He wanted to get all them black, didn't he? It was him, wasn't it? Yeah. He wanted to get a load of black kids from the inner city, take them on a truck, and make them pick cotton on his plantation. He said that. And you're like, well, dude.
Well, he said it'll make him a man, haven't you?
That's it, because it makes you a man picking cotton.
Well, strong start from the fucking lunatic. I mean, it was his usual race baiting shit, but then he threw in the white people are going to build a spaceship. And I want to go with them and buy some of that land because I know that land's going to go quick. What, do you think we're going to fucking colonise the moon? Or we're going to let the likes of you up there? Man, everybody needs a racist podcast to listen to. Did you know this man used to do the voice to Droopy D?
Who's the chap he's talking to?
Very happy. I'm very racist against my own kind. Fuck this guy.
Who's the guy he's talking to, Mike? Any idea?
No idea.
Because
He sounds like
a French racist. He's like, how do we get the kids to go for right-wing views? So the French racist is talking...
French Canadian.
Or French, well, let's say French. French accent, anyway. And he's having a chat to...
That's what French Canadian people have.
Yeah, French accent, whatever. Someone with a French accent.
Okay, yeah.
Is a French... He wants right-wing views, so surely he wouldn't like Jesse Lee Peterson because he's black. So what are you speaking to him for?
Because politics goes above racial... I don't know.
Is Jesse Lee Peterson aiming to be Samuel L. Jackson in Django?
No, because he can't speak properly.
Well, he's aiming for that kind of role.
Well, yeah, I guess. Uncle, what do they call it? No, I'm not going to say that. Uncle Tom. I didn't make that up, but you know what I mean.
Yeah?
Yeah, it means a black man that sort of understands his own race and...
Yeah.
Well, fuck him in every conceivable way. On to the next one.
Next up, Dave Mike complains he can't say the N-word.
Coach Dave. Still want to know his win record?
Well, like he's physically incapable. Like the Lord stops him.
No, I think it's that it's politically incorrect. He's upset.
Well, he should go and speak to Jesse Lee Peterson. It's all right.
Very astute of him.
Ready?
Okay.
It's called the N-word. Have you ever heard anything more stupid than that? The N-word? What is the N-word? Well, the N-word is where they call somebody nigger.
Oh,
Right?
Lord.
Or niggardly. Remember a guy got in trouble for being called niggardly? Jared, that'd be a good word. Let's go to Webster's. Let's go to Webster's 1828 dictionary, Jared, and look up the word niggardly. 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 Niggardly means covetous or avaricious, sordidly, parsimonious. Boy, I gotta get out of that. Sorry, it's extremely sparing of expense. Sparing, wary, cautiously avoiding profusion. Niggardly basically means cheap. Okay? Somebody's niggardly, they're cheap. Now, Jared, look up nigger. Is nigger on there? Does Webster even have a word nigger? Wasn't even a word. Niggard. Niggard is what? Niggard is narrow. To haggle. To be sordidly parsimonious. I'm going to look that one up. Exhibit analogies similar to those of wretched, wreck, and haggle.
Oh, I love this fucker.
A miser. A person meanly, close, and covetous.
So what's
a
his
sordid
point?
wretch
I don't know.
who saves
That it's not a real
every
word.
cent
So in 1821 it wasn't in the
or spends
dictionary.
grudgingly. That's a niggard.
What a moron.
That's
Language
nigger.
fucking evolves and
So he
changes.
is niggard.
Not for him, he's still stuck in the Bible.
See, you see what they've done to us with words? Jared, by the way, do it again, Jared, 1828. Please look that up for me again. Nigger. N-I-G-G-E-R. No word. Wow. Wonder where that came.
Because in
Wonder whose
1828
idea
there was
is
still
that?
slavery.
And I wonder, Damn, family. Can I tell you something? I remember one time when I was in high school, I was a pretty good athlete. I was a small guy. And I was reading an article in the paper. I was in high school. I was reading an article in the paper. I just scored a bunch of points in a basketball game. And
Of course.
the guy said something about diminutive Daubenmeier, blah, 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 does this. So diminutive Daubenmeier then took control again, something like that. So I'm in high school, right? Sophomore in high school. I said to my mom, what's that mean, diminutive? And she said, small. You know what? I'd rather they call me a nigger. I didn't know myself as small.
Oh,
What do you mean
stop it.
small?
None of them know.
Why are they able to get away with that? Why
But we've
can they
just
call
learned-
me small? Why can they call me fat?
The root to
Why
all
can
his
they call
anger.
me
Yeah.
Nick? Why
He's
can they
still-
call? And I can't say I can't say the N word. Oh no!
Oh boy. Oh boy. Right.
See what they've done to us? See what they've done to us?
Wow.
That was amazing, wasn't it?
So essentially, because he was called small in the school paper report all those years ago, and he's just let it all out in the open for us to see.
Yeah.
He's been this angry, bitter, hateful,
Yep.
vengeful, rageful, jealous, twisted little prick ever since.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And that's why he hates people who are different from him or more successful than
And
him.
he's saying, well, they called me small,
So
I can call him whatever I want.
because I was called small, I
Yeah.
can racially abuse, and that word has so much more attached to it, and it didn't exist in 80 to anyone. What a cock. I'm really sorry though. Could we?
Yeah.
Just for a sec.
Alright, so let's see if Alex can snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. What's he going to say?
It's a bit of a compilation. Alex Jones repeatedly threatens people with violence.
Not a violent person, but I'll tell you what. How about you slit your own throat or jam some ice picks in your own eyes? How about you hang yourself tonight? Because if you want us to die, I say you need to die first. When somebody attacks you and breaks your nose and you punch them in their nose, rips off their face. I mean, cartilage came out, nose is like hanging. It's just like victory. What happens, Wolf Blitzer, when somebody pumps rounds into your little pumpkin head? I will volunteer when they get convicted to kick that switch and hang their ass. In fact, I want to kill you. And you understand that I want to destroy you. That's a demon I will take down or I'll die trying. Politically, you're going to get it or I'm going to die trying, bitch. Maybe I'll just break your jaw.
Wow.
It's kind of like a trick breaking somebody's jaw. It's almost like it's magic. You just got to punch full power, totally relax, punch right in the side, just go, yeah! And then the jaw breaks most of the time. Yeah, man, you're not going to do nothing, you little wimp punk! It doesn't mean if you're some racist black guy trying to beat my head in with a club outside the shopping mall, and I'm not going to beat the living hell out of you. I want to break your jaw off and grab it with my hands and rip the mandible off your head. I want to bash your brains out. I want to bring you low. You're going to get it. I'm your worst nightmare, and you know it.
Yeah.
Real good, real hard, real long. I'm ready for whatever you do to me. Pizzagate, as it's called, is a rabbit hole that is horrifying to go down. You have to go investigate it for yourself. You say it, and I find you on the street, I'm going to break your nose. You understand that? Because I've had enough of your crap. George Will, you are a discredited fop. Put down your thesaurus, look in the mirror, realize you're a traitor, and do the right thing. And put a 357 Magnum to your head and blow what's little left of your brains all over yourself, okay? Schiff looks like the archetypal cocksucker. That'll beat your goddamn ass, you son of a bitch. I don't want to kill anybody. But I'm sick and tired of being pushed around. Let me tell you something. 60 years ago, he would be in front of a firing squad in about a month. Just walk up to Robert De Niro because I know he acts tough in movies and I break his nose. I don't need violence. Not saying I'm going to do that. But I walk right up and I punch him up under the nose and actually tear his nose completely off his face. I want him to knock their teeth out. Al Bolton thinks he's a tough guy. I challenge him $1 million, the charity he wants, to get in the ring with me. Bare knuckle. In fact, I'll challenge that host to a boxing match. Bare knuckle. I'm offering $1 million to Stelter to bare knuckles box me. Stelter, you will fall. He looks like a pretty tough guy. Doesn't matter. I'll knock his teeth out and break his nose. I will. I'll do it right now. I'll get in the ring with you, and I will break your jaw. I will knock your teeth out. I will break your nose, and I will break your neck. I know that I want to punch you in the nose. You understand? And when I want to punch somebody in the nose, I don't ever lose. I love everybody. Get in the ring with me. I will break your jaw in seconds.
You get the message. You like breaking noses and jaws.
And I will whack your teeth out. My fists are going to be bleeding with your teeth marks all over them. You freaking bully, you coward! I wish Jake Weber would do the things and say the things he says I'm saying to my face. Man up. Meet me out in the parking lot somewhere. She won't do that, you little yellow-bellied bastard. Get in the ring with me and I will stomp your ass into the ground. I've always been Mr. Peace. These people are out of control.
Mr. Peace.
Well, I've challenged Alex to a boxing match before and he hasn't responded.
Strong finish. Well, I think that says less about more about your status on the internet.
Yeah, that's true.
Than Alex's willingness to fight.
Offer still stands.
Be careful, Ben. He'll punch your nose right off your face. He'll break your jaw and rip the mandibles off, he said.
You won't have a chance.
When you're my mate and I've got your back, but I'm just saying, money-wise, I might put a tenner on Alex.
I'm up to a 15.5-inch bicep now, guys. I've been working out.
Did you just hear what he just said?
Yeah, we're fine. Trust me.
But he will stamp your head in.
It's a Queensbury rules. You can't do that.
Of course, it's a family show.
Yeah, family show. I'm a peaceful guy. I love everybody. I'll break his fucking nose. I love everybody. Wow.
I think the coach has still got it for me.
Yeah, because I think it was a compilation of... Basically, Alex wasn't being that insane. He was just being very violent. And we all know it's fake. He's a pussy in real life, apparently. But...
So I could beat him in a boxing match.
No, you couldn't. No, sorry. The coach, though... The coach was just showing himself for being a... That's the dark side of the internet. The fact that a tool like that can have a platform.
Yep. But he's got the right to. I mean...
Yeah,
I totally... absolutely despise his views 100%.
Yeah.
He's got the right to say it.
Well, so I don't know though, because Jesse Lee.
But there are, you know, if you just say them sort of words, there are going to be repercussions.
There are.
So because he was Jesse Lee Peterson was talking about spaceships, but I don't think he was entirely serious. It's hard to tell with a goopy face. But second guy was literally saying, because they called me fat in the school newspaper.
They called him short.
Oh yeah, small, that was it. Diminutive. Because they called me small. Why can't I call you the N-word? Yeah, he's a lunatic. He's he's got it this week.
Coach Dave then?
Coach.
He's won a couple, hasn't he, Coach Dave?
He's a fucking tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, winning this competition is not something that, you know, we're proud of.
To be sort of a good old British saying to describe him, he's a fucking plum. He's an absolute plum, isn't he? He's a pleb. Fool. He knows nothing. Anyway, he's probably one of those people that, you know, like more people die falling down the stairs and getting out of the bath than in, like, you know, murders or violent deaths. He's going to be one of them, I hope. Just another statistic who slips and falls in the shower and dies.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
I think Jesse Lee's definitely a risk of that.
Oh, he'll probably fucking just kill himself through his own fucking moronity. Moronity, that's not a word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He'll probably stick his tongue in a live socket or something.
God told him to.
And do what this will do.
Oh, because God told him to.
Yeah. Well, anyway, or somebody just puts a bullet in his head, that would be even better. Live on the internet. Not that I'm not encouraging violence, I'm just saying it would be cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm not arguing with that.
Fuck all the cunts in this competition.
I can only see little Tom, what's his name?
Tom Horn.
Tom Horn come back, little Tommy Horn come back. He was first time winner, he was amazing.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Unfortunately, they deleted one of the sites of this. Right Wing Watch, where I got all my videos from. This is the backup one. They deleted the main one.
Oh no.
YouTube did, yeah.
Fucking hell. Even though it's a...
Copyright issues or something. Even though they said this on the internet, he's just recording and putting it in place.
Oh well, we'll find clips somewhere. Daily Motion. There are alternatives. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Do you want to
Yeah. So that's
wrap
been
it up, Ben?
Jack the Ripper Part 1. We'll be back next week with any sort of the conspiracies and the suspects, or some of the suspects. I ain't doing 100 suspects, trust me. So I've been Ben. Thanks for listening. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
And Minds now.
And sorry, what?
We're on Minds, aren't we?
Oh, that new hip one that I don't know about.
The
How do you spell it?
MINDS.
Oh, there you go. Minds.
Minds. Well, if you're young and hip, go on Minds.
Yeah.
Fucking
YouTube.
sport.
Yes, so I've been Ben, and don't drink the Flavour Aid and don't join a cult.
I'm going to use my little section to say goodbye to be a complete whore and plug a couple of things, if that's okay, of my own creation, quickly before Ben turns my mic down. Go on Amazon. I've written a comic book called Space Force Intergalactic Fascists. It's like £2 for the Kindle version, like less than £5 for the beautiful paper version. It's ridiculous, childish shit, but it's quite funny. And I see they've ripped me off and they're making a fucking series starring the guy from.
Oh fuck! I've seen this
the guy
advertised.
from the American Office.
Yeah.
I've forgotten his name, but yeah, it's a
40-year-old
comedy
virgin
about
bloke.
Space Force. So yeah, bastards with like a simpleton captain. Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
I was first. Anyway, check that out. Also on YouTube, I did like a few years back a feature length like audio play, let's say 90 minutes long. Search for Mechaphile, MECHAPHILE. You'll find it on YouTube. Check
Short
that
for
out.
mechanical paedophile.
Essentially, no, there's no children machines involved. It's somebody who gets sexual gratification from machine. Like it's not like it's not like if you check the production date of your toaster, you're like, oh, this one's a really young toaster. I'm gonna fuck this one.
Does he fuck a toaster?
No, but one of the characters may or may not have a sexual perversion for droids.
I mean,
Hence
as
the
kids, it
title.
would be a horror film, wouldn't it?
In real life,
Big robotic paedophile.
yeah, my audio play has none of those things in it, listener. Mike, shut the fuck up. Let me do the plug. Okay, it's a comedy. It's a sci-fi comedy with no kid fucking.
No paedophiles in it.
At all. It's called Mechaphile. That's somebody who gets sexual gratification from a machine. There's no children involved. Okay, check that fucking out. And my comic book. I'm going to plug one more thing now because of that. There's a podcast out there, an audio drama called Continuum Force, not written by me. Again, no fucking kid fucking in it whatsoever. It's a sci-fi time travel thing, and in episode 7 I play a fucking posh bloke called Percy. Subscribe to that. And what do I usually say? Oh, free Biff Tannen. Thanks for listening.
You never mentioned Solar Warden. I think we're gonna.
Oh shit, Solar Warden, our band Solar Warden, they're on YouTube. Search Solar Warden Interdimensional Penis, as featured on the very, very popular podcast Tell 'em Steve Dave, starring Q from the Impractical Jokers. They featured our song on there this week, on their most recent episode. It's great. If I do say so myself. So search for Solar Warden. Again, no kid fucking in the song. Check it out. And that's all my plugs. Thank you.
I mean, Mike.
Do you have a plug, Mike?
Not really, no.
Well, Mike, you can plug. Mike's got like 4 or 5 tracks on the Solar Warden album,
True, yeah.
which will be out soon.
I have none.
Get writing.
No, I'm the researcher. I do enough of that.
Okay.
Well, thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.
Thank you very much. Good night.